Mine's not quite here.
Yeah, we need 500 of the like motor things and then 100 of whatever the other things are.
And we're not tearing those down. We're completely keeping those up because that's not all we're gonna need. That's what we're gonna need for this stage, but we're gonna need way more for the next stage.
Yeah.
Because those go into next stage space over part. Like versatile frame we're gonna need still. And that's gonna go into another part for the next stage. It's like smart playing and automated wiring. That's for the second stage. And we're gonna need that for the third stage. For the other two things. So really, I'm gonna be setting up a permanent setup using the alternate recipes for everything that we can. Like smart playing manufacturer has the alternate recipe. I'm gonna use that. Which we're gonna keep everything up unless we get another alternate recipe for it. Which one likely we might. But once we get the alternate recipes for them, we'll tear it down, just replace that one part. But it's not gonna be connected to our main system. We're gonna be taking out storage, putting stuff in there. Or actually, we can the smart playing out pure iron. I don't know about everything else. If it needs anything other than iron, but I know the base recipe we need just iron. The alternate for smart playing needs rubber. Okay, apparently, I think it was on your end more like, cause my end's working just fine now. It shows that your server's online instead of offline. I don't know if I'm right or if you're right, but all I know is apparently it's working now.
Nice.
All we need is for you to get the train set up a little bit more. I'm gonna be working on we need computers, I know that. I don't know if we got motor set better than that one, if I remember right. I don't remember for sure. It's been a while since I've been on here. You know, in version 8 or before, I don't remember exactly when people started wanting this, but you know, before 1.0, people been wanting an incentive for trains, right?
And one what?
Before 1.0, people been wanting like an incentive for getting to trains, right? So in 1.0, they put an incentive where Ada comes online and says, choo choo, motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, I really hope they change Ada and do more incentives for stuff like big things like nuclear or conversion, stuff like that. Just like the whole train thing. Alright, this is when I was going to bed. I said I was going to go bed after getting the motor set up. So you do got one motor set from the sushi belt coming into our sink and storage. And it's, before it goes into there, it's pulling off the stators and rotors for motors. which are both full. And then that's going right back into the merger, coming to storage and everything. Okay, what is happening here? This is that's heavy modular frames. Why was I needing that? That's 10 fluctuators. Okay, how's our power again? We're still not meeting power capacity. I mean, yeah, we are actually. It's up and down. Why? And it's going 4620, 4320,
I'm gonna go check
4620 for 920.
It's not using the batteries. I'm assuming
Not
it's just the production is because it's not
Nope.
using that much.
This not the battery that I'm looking at, because even if we're going, our max consumption is 4854, but that's even with no batteries at all. Now if we go 5,000 out of the 4854, we're still only producing enough for the 4854 before the batteries start kicking on. So if we're having a consumption at max, our capacity is like 4320, it's going to use batteries and still say our capacity is 4320, because that's the generators, not the batteries. Now if you unhook the batteries, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah, I'm saying, right, that the batteries aren't going down.
So
I don't know why the production is moving around. It says you can go look at the power, but there's a bunch of power generators. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was like fucking 12,000 watts of power or something over there in turbo fuel.
well, turbo fuel has to be the problem, unless it's we don't have the biomass burners going, do we? Or do we take? That might actually be a problem. Might be the biomass burners. No. Biomass burners are good, so it has to be either. Can't be coal. It has to be turbo fuel. Because it has some setup like, which we should turn off the turbo fuel for now, and let all the pipes fill up if they're not already. Which okay, here's the problem with the these not all going like they're supposed to. Why? Because they don't got enough fuel coming in for them. Not fuel, the oil, I mean. You're just using that. That's not. We don't have oil. So that's going to cause the problem, because you're not getting enough oil. So plastic and rubber are not producing, and that includes the heavy oil residue that goes into fuel.
Yeah, we need to get more oil
That's the
farm
problem.
set up.
It's not our production, it's our oil production.
Yeah, we need
That's the
more.
problem.
We need more oil farms.
That's the whole problem, is the oil that's causing the power to go up and down, up and down.
More trains that deliver oil to the place.
Might not need more trains, might need more oil production, right?
Well, that's what I mean, right?
It
Brings a train at a different oil spot, because all we have is this one oil spot, which I think is only 2 normals.
I thought there was like 3 different ones here.
No, it's 2. There used to be 3.
This is not.
Back before they changed the map.
This one that we have going under the foundations, that's impure. Where is this other one at? And what is it?
Oh, there is another one that's like 300 meters away straight from here.
The problem is they're not producing oil from this one. Unless...
I see them both producing oil. It's just, right, the fuel, the lines are empty because it's drained everything. So as soon as it produces oil, it gets shit out into the.
This is basically one normal. Both of these are impure. That's the problem.
That's fucking gay. That other one is down low.
How far out?
It's right there.
Alright, I see it. Right after I pinged it, right before it actually showed the ping on here. I think. So we got basically one pure. Counting those 2 impure and this one, which are normal. I didn't notice this actually has. You're walking in the crude oil and it shows footprints.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't notice that ever. That's cool. So our problem is we're not producing the oil enough. We need... Alright, this... This is round about the same height, just a little bit lower right here than the foundations. So really we don't need another train, just need this oil production come from here to the tanks, really. I mean, might still need another train, but... Yeah, it's over that way. Down's pier over there, though. The one that going this way towards where I'm at. Down's pier. Now, the only problem is you're gonna have to get this pumped up, which...
Well, you said that, right? If it goes into a tank higher, right? Because it can just come into the fuel tanks, the tanks up here.
Yeah, but the tank is not gonna have any in it, so that means no pressure.
It'll have some in it, right? Because they're constantly being produced.
But the tank pressure goes based on how full the tank is. If it's half full, that's gonna be half pressurized. I learned this just the other day. It's actually since last time I've been on here. If you got the 10-meter head lift from a tank at full capacity. It's only going to produce only 5 head lift if it's half capacity. It depends on how full the tank is, which these are going to be basically no head lift because these are basically empty. So it's still going to have to pump up just to be safe. Because the train's going to come in too quickly and we're not going to get enough pressure for it. We'll see first though. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to have at least maybe a couple pumps. Because it's not that good with the one.
I'm already seeing fluid in this pipe.
20.
Way up here. 1.9, 2 meters. 2.2 is going up right here right now.
But that doesn't mean that one's gonna wind up pumping quick enough to actually fill up.
Oh, I
That's
mean,
only 2.4.
you have fucking power down there yet.
And this pipe has none, so that means this still is getting no head lift from these others.
There's not even oil coming down from there. It has no power.
Doesn't matter. This pipe has to have oil going backwards for down tap pressure. Because that's only going to produce enough to start filling up that one, but not this one. This one fills up, bring it up to this high spot, then going back down there. I see that's only 16.5. It's not coming to this one because there's no pressure. Now, if these are producing enough, and the tank's full enough, then probably will produce enough pressure, but we're gonna need pumps. Which, really, now that we got them, don't put Mark 1 down, put Mark 2, because that's 50, and this is not even really 50, I don't think. Because you gotta place that 10 years above, and that's gonna be less than 50, I think, from the pump up to here at least. Now plug that one up and it should be good. That's filling up here. Let's come up quickly. Down basically full. Almost. Flow rate stopped. Why? Oh, you put the wrong one. It needs to be pump 2.
That is an MK2.
Oh, I think click 5, not the...
Oh, I mean, it won't ever fill that pipe. They don't produce enough.
I should start seeing any in here, and it's not showing any. Why? Maybe if we place one that... Maybe right here instead. Alright, that's going to... I'm gonna play it safe just in case. Going right here, see if that will help it. That should... Why is this one not working out? Did you wind up putting this thing on backwards?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have gone to the top, right? It was filling this pipe up here. If it was on backwards, it wouldn't have filled this pipe up here.
Well, that's full.
This pipe is...
This pipe's full. This one's not getting any. Why?
I don't know, there's 1.2 up here at the top, 1.3.
I'm going to try place Mark 2 a little bit higher, maybe? Actually, it's... Try right there. Okay, that is 100% going. That's going.
Still the same thing.
When okay, that stopped. What in the world? If I do this, I could just put it straight from the pump up to here. That's showing less than it needs to now. What in the... That's filling up. That one without the pump. That one's full now. Okay, apparently when you place it, it wound up messing it up. Because this one is now bringing in some. Which actually, how much do you got coming out here anyway? Oh, you got the wrong one. You can't use these pipes. These are Mark 1s. You got,
As I said, it doesn't matter, right?
Actually, it does because you're using only half of that resource node.
That resource node is only 120.
600 per minute.
No, that's the max that it can. It is 120 per minute is its rate.
Oh, I see. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole entire farm is 240 per minute. It's 120 for that one, and then 120 between the other two because there's 60 apiece.
Yeah,
So that
I
whole
got max flow rate.
yeah, that whole farm is 240.
Okay, so the only problem is this one pipe needs a pump. Which, let's say Mark 1 because that's going to be definite. Way more than what we actually need. Because that pipe's basically full. I should start working here in a second. Maybe. Oh, that's working now. When the... This pump is less than 10 meters away from this pipe. What is going? Oh my god. That's not gonna work right. I don't know what's going on. You know, what if we actually put a tank right here, like small buffer? And then bring it to buffer from there. Because this one pipe's not one to fill up at all. So I say do that. This should be filling up the buffer now.
For good old 4chan,
Once this
ladies
pipe
and
fills up.
gentlemen. Yeah. You know, I want to just kind of keep up the pressure when I talk about the world of internet
Now
censorship.
it's
Now,
stopping.
you know, I talked about this stuff like probably years
and
ago,
this is
and you know,
filling
the
up
funniest thing about this too is like, it really
a very
felt like
slow
me
rate
and maybe like a
line.
few people were kind of screaming into the void. And now, you know, that those laws that I talked about
Why
a
do you
year
have to
ago,
do this?
now that it's time for those laws to pass and be enacted, suddenly everyone's starting to poop themselves a little bit because the internet's changed so dramatically fast over
Really wanna
such a
send
short
this
amount of
little
time.
boost cell.
So to give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I talked about
That should
things
turn
like that
green.
Epstein list, and it's crazy to think that, you know, people who want this stuff released, you know,
That's
all of
green.
a sudden,
That means
right
this
after all of
is
this,
getting
there's
oil.
other
That
aspects
means
that come into play. I'm not saying that these conspiracies are related, but, you know, the censorship wave has happened so fast. You know, we looked at things like Collective Shout not too long
got a
ago. We looked at
severe problem
companies
because
like
even
Visa
this
and MasterCard
tank
basically
is not filling
deciding
up.
what you and I get to buy on the internet. And then all of a sudden, every single one of these laws, not just from the UK, but the United States, Canada, the
It's not
EU,
working.
every
Not
single
why?
organization comes in. You know, a week ago, we looked at chat control in the EU. They want to try and diminish the security of your messaging. Your messaging, not the politicians, not the people at the top. So all of a sudden, you know, you have to deal with inferior technology, insecure technology. All because these people want you to think of the children and all that other stupid shit. I don't think anybody at the top cares about
It
the
should be
children, okay? I
producing
mean,
120.
I
This
think we all do.
pumping. It's saying going up to 140 and all that, but it's not going past like 5.5. At the same time, the buffer is not even getting any in it. Look at this. Watch this pipe right before the buffer after the pump. And look at the buffer. It. Wait a second. Maybe. Ooh, shoot. I wonder if a valve will actually work on here.
Wow, there's really not very many oil nodes in this game.
There's plenty of oil nodes in here for what we need them for.
There's only 8 piers in the whole entire map.
That's way more than plenty if you use the right recipes, like alternates and all that. And all you need is like one pier and you get using the recipes all the way to rocket and ionize, which is the best fuel for the fuel generators. And you can't say anything else about it because yes, it might burn slower, but it still produces a lot more power if you use that same speed as the pure node.
It's the same.
If you had to run 100% constant and produces that 100% of what it's being used, you get a lot of power that way.
It's the same power, right? It doesn't make the generator produce more power. It'll just last longer, right?
That
Which
ain't
means you can
it
then
produces more
also
power because you get more fuel generators on it.
you
For
can
one
get
beer
more.
note,
You can only get you can
use
get more
fuel.
fuel generators on a single pipe, but you could still do the same by just creating a new pipe of resources, right? You're not getting actually more power out of the generators. It just gets you basically right. It's almost like a logistics upgrade, right? If you went from MK3 to or MK1 to MK2 pipes, you can now have more generators on a single pipeline. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But the generator will still produce the same amount of power. I see on the map that there's a fuck ton of oil by here, but I don't see it.
This server's messed up. No matter what I'm doing, even though we're doing 100% right, the pump is working, and it's not. It's a Mark 1 pump, but even though it's less than 20 meters height, it's not putting anything into the pipeline enough. And it's confusing the hell out of me. Even when I put the valves on it, it doesn't want to work right. Maybe if we put a fluid buffer down here to start out, might
Okay,
might
now
not
I'm
work.
starting to see him.
I honestly think our game might be broke. It is basically filling up. At least down here it is. Oh my god, it's going up and down, up and down. Doesn't look like it's trying to. Let's place the valve right there. That should stop that from flowing in from this, and that should be flowing up. So that should mean it should go up here. Let's go do Mark 1 right there because that's definitely not gonna work. I need pump 2 actually. Because that's gonna cause it to go all the way up past that point. Where I only need the 1. Should be able to.
We just also don't want our privacy completely thrown out. So to give you an idea, 4chan was targeted, and even the guys over at 4chan responded. So the 4chaners went and said, okay, through their legal organization, Byron and Storm PC, they said that according to press reports, the Ofcom has issued a provisional notice under that OSA, alleging a contravention by 4chan and indicating an intention to impose a penalty of £20,000 sterling, plus daily penalties thereafter. So they pretty much say, listen, we're a US company. We're incorporated in Delaware. We've got nothing in the UK. But this is how crazy it is. We have laws from other parts of the world where they can impose fines and sanctions on people on the other side of the world. It's crazy shit. This is why I say, like, look, I'm not from the United Kingdom. Why do I care about this law? Because ultimately, in the end, all these laws, when they're passed, just start attacking each other. It's crazy stuff. Now, I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, why 4chan of all sites? 4chan isn't even as crazy popular as, you know, as it used to be, right? Like, obviously, you know, if you're somebody my age, if you're somebody like who's watched this channel, I'm sure you guys have definitely browsed some of the craziest stuff on 4chan. You know, for me, I love stuff like, you know, X. I love paranormal. I go on this probably every other night. And the thing about it is that even if you look at things like the reply counts, for instance, like I have it set from like highest to lowest, but some of these things really have just replies on threads of like, what, 70 people, right? Maximum. There's not many people lurking here. Why is it that, again, one of the biggest governments in the world specifically wants to target things like 4chan? Is it because sites like 4chan possess memes or possess, you know, information or discussions that the government doesn't necessarily find all that interesting? Maybe that's the goddamn case. But a lot of it has to do with, again, the fact that these are places where anybody can post. It's basically a social media. And now, to get access to most social media, honestly, to get access to most internet sites, you're going to have to give people your fucking driver's license, all right? I really feel like these laws, you know, they kind of push them in as like, hey, there's a lot of kids, you know, they might come across adult content on the internet. Let's ask for driver's licenses. I have seen more regular websites asking for my ID than I have actually seen the adult websites asking for ID. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's going up.
Now, of course, the only way to fight back, and I don't want to make these videos because, you know, I don't want to be like doom and gloom. Like, I'm not here to like doom scroll for you.
Not working.
I am here to tell you that there are ways that you can fight back. Government wants to take away your, you know, internet privacy through like taking away things like encryption. Go back to PGP. Send messages in a way where the government isn't going to be decrypting these things or will not spend the resources to decrypt every single message you have. You know, do you want to share files? You might have to start looking at things like VPNs or things like torrent software. And you might be like, whoa, are you teaching people how to pirate? No. Piracy is totally haram. But of course, I use torrent software when I download things like Arch Linux or any project where, you know, it's a hobby project. It's a project made by a small group of people, not big tech. Therefore, they use things like BitTorrent so they can save as much money as they can on server costs and still share files between people, you know, in a way where, again, governments, they have to work a little bit to try and stop this kind of stuff. Not to say that governments can't stop torrent software. They absolutely can. But you have to find ways to make things substantially more difficult for them, or at least annoying. Now, it's crazy to go back to 4chan of the website, right? The United Kingdom is trying to enforce their laws on a company that is owned by a Japanese man at this point, a website service that has its business incorporated in the state of Delaware, and from my understanding, has its servers hosted probably around the world, but I believe mostly in the state of California. And yet, they want to enforce their laws on the fucking Americans. Even though it just makes no fucking sense. Now, obviously, when it comes to organizations like Collective Shout, for instance, you know, we're looking at these guys that, you know, initially were bringing the pain to the average gamer. And now they're talking about how, you know, we're at a rise of Gamergate 2.0. They've pulled all these online games from the platforms, like Steam, for instance, or at least had them de-indexed. Like, all of a sudden, games that were mature, not even pornographic in nature, immediately started getting removed because of viral calls or just, again, annoying campaigns to, again, all these like payment processor fees. And of course, the payment processors decide to shut this stuff down. So to go forward into this too, right? Like, obviously, when you look at, again, sites like Collective Shout, the kind of stuff they say makes me almost laugh a little bit. Obviously, they expected some level of backlash, given the fact that they were trying to police the entire internet, police mature content for mature individuals. So of course they said they're small team, small but I guess incredibly powerful in terms of convincing payment processors what to do.
Why do you have
Abuse,
both these
harassment,
pumps?
threats of violence by gamers who are
both
angry
these
about losing
oils
their rape game.
on two separate
Even though
lines.
a lot of games that actually ended up getting removed from
What do
this
you
So
mean?
were
just have
video games
both buffers.
like Vile, where they were actually touching upon serious
They got
topics.
one
They
Ampere on
weren't
one
just
line,
all goofy,
and then we
haha,
got
visual
one
novel,
Ampere
like,
connected line
rape
with
games
the
that they were talking
normal.
about. So again, they keep bringing up the fact that there's a misogynistic vitriol.
I thought I
against
had
them.
them
Honestly, I'm not
connected.
going to sit here and pretend that there isn't a level
And he
of
has two
misogynistic
separate lines
vitriol against
beside
them
each
too.
other.
But they obviously also know that they're on the internet trying to destroy freedoms
I'm going
and
to
take away
delete this
video
one
games
line
and
and
take
just
away,
redo it real quick.
a paying customer's product. Of course, they're going to get some level of online backlash. That is very much to be expected. But obviously with organizations like this, they always kind of like try turning that
shit.
around and making themselves the victims, even though they themselves stepped foot into a fucking bear trap and started the wave of internet censorship. Internet censorship really is out of control. But it's not just the censorship that gets me. It's the fact that when it comes to the internet, we now literally rely on some level of surveillance. At least that's where we're headed to in such a short amount of time. It's actually insane. You know, a few days ago when it came to YouTube, right? YouTube just recently launched AI age verification on its platform. And I believe mostly for Americans, this is a thing, but it probably will come all the way out to other countries. Now, the thing about YouTube is, let's say that you're doing YouTube like as your main money-making opportunity. What has happened right now with age verification should slightly worry you. Now, years ago on YouTube, for anybody that doesn't know, there was things like the apocalypse. So if you were 100% on YouTube, you know, this was your income stream, immediately you went from making a good chunk of money and you just lost a lot of it overnight. So depending on how you structured your YouTube channel, let's say that you had employees, well, you had to start letting people go. Let's assume that, you know, you were living paycheck to paycheck. You probably also had to get something else on the side in order to make this dream of yours actually work. Now, YouTube, it seems, is starting to implement just a little bit more of that. So a few people had started getting these messages. We changed some of your settings. We've updated some settings, including turning off ad
I'm gonna put a couple more
personalization,
valves,
because
that way
we're
it goes
not
in the one
sure
direction
you're
we need
over
it.
18. So you could have an over 18
Not
account,
backflow,
and
really.
YouTube's AI has now deemed you unfit to be an adult. Maybe you watched too much child-friendly stuff. Maybe you've tripped something on YouTube's AI. AI is not perfect. The fact that we as a society are using AI to basically monitor every single thing that we do on the internet is just bad. Dude, it was literally this year that over 51% of all web traffic just became complete bots. So when we talk about shit like the dead internet theory, there are more synths on this platform or the internet as a whole than actual fucking human beings. It's crazy. And there's a good percentage of that that's just bad bot traffic that's taking advantage of the internet in completely negative ways. So to go back to YouTube, this person gets their, the YouTube considers them to be under 18. So according to this user, now all of a sudden on the shorts, they start getting, you know, shorts where people have like shit stuck into their hands, like, you know, almost like, I would say like body, very light body gore. You've got, you know, just tits in your face. It's crazy stuff to see. So even the AI and the recommendations engine isn't truly protecting you from that adult content. Here's another user. This guy's just watching a video, yada, 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 having a good time. They got some Warhammer ads. Now, I imagine Warhammer is usually for adults, or at least like, you know, teens or something. We couldn't verify that you're an adult. We've changed some of your settings. Okay, so YouTube's AI seems to be
The only
flagging
problem
people.
now is
And the thing about it is,
the
obviously, let's just
trains.
be honest here. So a lot of this is really also bad for YouTube.
What do you
YouTube has
mean?
something known as personalized ads, which is where I guess a big chunk of the money comes
Well,
out from.
we
If
got
YouTube can accurately deliver a
185
personalized
and go
ad
in
to somebody,
crude oil in
they
the
make
buffer.
a magnitude more money per
And it's
ad
only like
than if they just randomly
120
threw
going
ads out
up
of
right
nowhere,
now
right?
in the
You ever wonder, like,
freight
damn,
platform.
I googled like butt plugs the other day. All of a sudden, I'm getting fucking butt plug ads.
But everything's
It's
coming
because
into
Google
buffers,
and
what it
YouTube have
looks
such
like.
a sophisticated ad engine.
Yeah,
that,
I'm
yes,
setting
they
up-
do cross-site track you.
on
And if
these
you are looking
other
for something
oils
here,
right now.
they'll probably want to
So what
advertise
that
it for you
train
on
can
YouTube,
do
and you're
is
probably more likely to
basically
click on the ad
go to
and
all
maybe
the
purchase
stations,
the
giving
product
that
as if
station
they were just to
more
randomly throw
time
you an ad
to
that you really
fill
didn't
up
have
before
interest
it
in.
comes.
So yes, the AI age verification is actually as bad for the content creator if we're talking about the monetary angles of it, the lack of engagement that they can encounter from somebody whose account features have been so heavily limited, but it's also bad for YouTube because, yeah, if you're not able to have every account gathering data for you because of laws and regulations, yeah, it's gonna be bad for your site's bottom line. So I just want you to understand, I don't even think the guys over at YouTube are necessarily all that excited for it. There's been a lot of content creators that have been trying to do goofy things, like create like random videos where you can put on an autoplay so that they can just straight up basically make your account look as if it's over 18. And there's really no hard and fast rule to this. Nobody really knows how YouTube's AI works other than YouTube, Google, and the guys behind it. So realistically, we're just kind of like hoping that our accounts don't get hit. Now, of course, if your account does get hit, you can just provide a driver's
I'm not
license
able to
to the
access
fellas
one of
over
the.
at YouTube, and hopefully they will just overturn the situation. But
I'm
from
able
what
to
I
access the
understand,
pipeline,
YouTube
but
can
not the
actually
train
hold
station
onto
now.
that ID
Why?
for 2 years. So according to the guys
Is it
over
because the
at
damn
Google,
train?
let's say that you give your ID,
Yes.
right? So to establish your YouTube channel's history, you complete ID and video verifications
Okay,
again.
apparently you
So
cannot
to ensure
access
individuals or groups don't
through
evade our
free
restrictions by creating new
platforms
accounts, we assess whether you
they're
have
loading.
repeatedly violated
Or
policies
unloading,
or
apparently.
explicit
Yeah,
regulations.
you can't access a
So
platform
Google
while it's
may
loading or
save your
unloading.
ID on your, or your video and facial recognition data for a period of time. So how long does that data get stored? It gets stored
Oh,
for
that
a
doesn't
maximum
make
of
too much
3
sense
years.
to me.
Now, according to even Google, I believe they can delete this sooner
Because
than
you can
before.
access storage
But the thing is,
containers.
that's information stored.
And
Now,
it's
thankfully, they
basically
say we
saying that
never sell your
storage container
personal
except
information, and you know,
instead of loading onto
obviously,
the belt, it's loading onto the train.
I'm gonna have to trust them on that. But you know, I'm hoping that obviously for you know, an
Their
organization like
whole,
Google, being as big as they are, I'm hoping that this information
the
can't
idea
be
of not
hacked
being
by
able to
somebody,
access trains
taken and then
makes no sense
sold
to
on
me.
the dark web or sold
You
in
should
any
be able to
data breach
access
out
it
there.
even when it's
Now, obviously,
loading
I
or
expect
unloading.
Google to have
Just
some
like
good security
storage.
practices, but no security practice
Like,
is
trains
truly
no
100%
difference
perfect. So
with
you
the
have
platforms
to be
from the
okay when you provide
storage
your information
containers.
to these organizations that they will delete your information, you know, down the
You
road.
basically
So for
take stuff
instance,
straight out
here
of
they
the
even say your
storage
ID will
container
be deleted from your Google
and put it
account
onto a
within
train,
2 years.
or vice
It's
versa.
usually deleted in a few months after you've built sufficient channel history, or after 1 year if you haven't used
So
advanced
that
features.
problem is
So no
basically
matter
done.
what, your information's gonna
We
at
just need more
least be here
trains coming in
for over a month
for
or two.
oil.
Okay, so you have to be comfortable giving your ID to somebody, and they basically hold on to a record of that for a little bit.
I mean, more
Now,
oil coming in.
obviously, I can imagine some of you guys
Yeah,
are
that's what I'm
probably
doing right
going to
now.
go and say, I don't feel comfortable with that, Muda, but what other options are there? Look, a few days ago, I made a video talking about the internet as a whole. And one of the things that I don't like about the internet right now is that it feels like there's 6 websites that basically people go to. It really feels like a cyberpunkish type of internet. You know, when you play a video game and there's like an internet feature in it, and there's like maybe 7 websites you go to max. You know, like, ooh, there's like 7 or 8
I'll
different
check on the
websites.
turbo
It's like,
fuel,
is that
make
all
sure
that
it's
people
all
go
going
to in this
correctly.
fictional universe? Is like 7 or 8 websites. How
Sounds
really
we're
different is that
getting
from the
the
real world,
stuff
right?
that
Like you go to
we
YouTube for your
need,
videos.
or
You
the
probably go
old
to like
stuff.
fucking, I don't know, Facebook. God
'Cause
forbid
old
to
should
talk
be
with
the
like
only
boomer
problem.
parents. You probably go to like Twitter to like, you know, shit post or like doom scroll.
Because
You probably go to Reddit for everything
if
that
we
you
got
could have
more
done
oil
with a
than we
forum
need,
from
but
like
not
the
enough
early
residual
2000s.
fuel,
So
that's
realistically,
because
one
you
of
got
the
the
things that
problem
I did
of
was I also
you're not
reached
producing
out
the oil
to the fellas
into
over
plastic
at
and
Odyssey.
rubber yet.
Now, Odyssey, for anybody that doesn't know what
Which
it is,
some of
this
these
is an
things are still on
alternative tech
standby,
platform.
so
And I actually used to have a channel on here.
it's more
And,
the oil
you know, my channel
input
was gone.
that's
my
the
channel,
problem
you know, I
at
talked to
second
them, I had my
than
discussion.
output.
They had worked with me very quickly, within a span of 24 hours, to bring my channel not just back to talk
And
to my
we got a
28,000
problem here.
subscribers on this platform, and
What?
also quickly synchronize a good chunk of my content. Now, obviously,
Heavy oil
I am not going to
in
be using
for turbo
Odyssey
fuel
as a primary platform.
glitched.
But I want to use
So you
it
know
as
how
a
the trains
mirror
have the
platform
fluid
for my content.
crates
So
on, right?
I actually asked the
Yeah.
company for this, and I got in touch with the CEO and
Well,
COO
you got the fluid
really quickly.
freight
And they told
platform.
me that they are basically
No
owned by
train.
a company.
They
I believe
got
it's
the
like
train
Forward
cart on the
Distribution or
thing.
something, or whatever, and they have apparently 20 years
I mean, I don't
worth
know if
of
it's mine or if
funding
it's
to
the
keep
game
this site
itself,
operating,
but
which is kind of
come
crazy
over
to
here and
think
you'll
about.
see
And obviously after that, they'll
the
probably need more cache infusions. Running a video website like this
fluid rate
is definitely
on the very back,
expensive,
I think is.
and that's why there's just
Yeah, the
not
very
many
back
other
one
people on the platform.
has one of the
But
fluid
the
cards
thing
on it.
is, a site like this is important because I even asked them about age verification.
Oh,
They
yeah,
said,
turbo
look,
fuel.
we'll hold out as long as we can, but if laws pass and we're an American company, we have to abide
Yeah, the
by
problem
those
is
laws.
we didn't
But
have no
for
turbo fuel
now,
more than likely.
they're not going out of their way to invoke
I
an
don't see
attack
that.
on privacy like other websites.
I
are
see
doing
that the
to
heavy
handle it.
oil
They're
thing
just
is
waiting
fine.
for all the laws to pass, and they're holding
Wait,
out as much
because
as they
there's
can.
a train
And
now.
ultimately,
Yeah,
it's
I know,
not
I'm
sitting-
just
I'm
about
at it.
supporting the alternative tech platform. It's
I'm
about
saying this one
fighting
right
back
here
against
had
these
the
crazy,
thing on it,
vicious
even though there's
anti-privacy
no
laws.
train here.
So if you're not able to win that, well, the internet dramatically
now the
changes in the future.
Things moving.
But I do want to hype a site like Odyssey up a little bit because it's the
Is
only
this
other
actually
platform
gonna
that I'm
show
on
like
other
it
than
was?
YouTube when it comes to my content that I
What's gonna be
upload.
done?
But you know, I'm not on Rumble or any of these other platforms because it's just way too much to keep track of. I'm not really in here
Yeah,
for the
we
money.
dropped off
obviously,
about
either. I'm in here
280
mostly for the
milliliters
love
of
the game. Okay, people
heavy
can
oil.
watch my videos, enjoy my
Okay, how
enjoy
come it has
content
one
over
tank,
here,
one without a
and
tank?
If God forbid,
They both,
you know, YouTube
because
considers you to be a
one,
child,
only
and you
one
have to
side
provide
is
an
being
identification,
used, right?
It's not as if there isn't
There's
another
the
repo
only the
content
back
that
side
can
of the
access
station is being
on my
pulled
channel.
from over there. The front
That's
side
kind
is
of the
not
thing
being
that
pulled
I have
from.
over here. Now, even when it came to Odyssey, they said that, you know, just
Wow.
at the end of last year,
Is
even
not hook up
YouTube
yet,
was
I'm
giving
guessing?
them a lot of like grief over
Because
synchronized
essentially it's meant to
content,
be
because I
for
really do
for
think,
continuance if
obviously, for
needed,
YouTube, when they
right?
start
If
to
we
see
need
all these other
more
platforms pop up,
heavy
maybe
oil
providing
production
in
there,
some ways a
right?
better
Because
experience,
we're not
it
even
might be
producing
better
enough
to
heavy oil right
if
now
we
to fill
can
one
as much
train
as we
station.
can, so people stick to YouTube. And I don't think sites
Yeah, we
like
got a
Odyssey,
problem right
I don't
now
think
with
sites
the
like
turbo
Rumble
fuel.
are going to destroy YouTube. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think YouTube
That
will
doesn't
always be
fix, right?
dominant
That's
in
just
the
an
number
excess
one.
right now, which just
But I
means we'd
also
burn through
want
the
to,
excess
you know,
and
bring
that
up the
problem
fact
still
that there is
exists.
alternative platforms. We don't all have to use the same
Not
website.
saying if
And
we
when it
wind
comes to
up
things
having
like
some of these
forced
filled up but not
identification, right? You've
ones
got
back when
situations
they
where
shut
obviously
down
if you look closely
on off.
into even Roblox. Like we just talked about Roblox like a few days ago. When you start looking
Actually,
at
how
like
did the
their
flat priorities
VP of
work with
stability
them
and
like this
partnerships,
on the
you know,
junctions?
they're apparently
for
even
pods?
working with many of these.
Because I know
online
if you
safety
have them like up
organizations.
and down,
When you look at
top is going to be
multiple tech companies, and
prioritized
you look at
as
the boards of those companies,
secondary.
there
If I
are
remember our
VPs of these companies that
Where's
apparently
No
Power?
want
idea.
forced identification. It almost feels like the elite and the
Because
government are almost
junctions
working hand in hand
don't have
to
priorities
systematically destroy the
for
little bit of
pipes like it
privacy that we
does
have.
the
And the thing
mergers.
is, the only way to resist
They're
this is
gonna have
obviously if you want
priority
to
on
use,
one,
you know, alternative,
second priority
you know,
on
sources.
another.
You want
We're
to use
not gonna be
alternative,
using
you know,
one,
media.
which
That's a great way, I guess.
could wind up causing
There's
a problem
other
in your
sites
loop
that are not
systems where
YouTube,
it's
that are
using
not Twitter, that are not
your-
Facebook, that are not the, you know,
like,
default
let's
website
say
everyone goes
water
to
is being
that allows
produced
you
by
to do
something
similar
that's
things.
also using
You know,
it.
there's also platforms like Tor.
You got
so
water
if you have the
extractor
Brave
coming
browser,
in,
you can just click these
which
three
at
little
the very
lines
beginning
and
is
go
going to
new
start
private
using the
window.
water
You don't
extractor
even need
water.
to download the Tor browser.
And then you're
but I
supposed to
highly
use the
recommend you do.
byproduct
And you can use it to
coming
access
out
social
before
media
the water
services,
extractor.
or you know, talk to people.
But it
you know,
winds up
in a way
stopping
where you at
because
least
the
have
water
anonymity
extractor
and you
is the
don't
higher
have to
priority
provide
than the
your actual
byproduct
identification
water
and put yourself at
coming
risk.
out of the
Like a lot of
machine.
these government and organizations really kind of
Because
want you to.
you got the pipes
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want
configured
to
wrong
really
due
talk about it
to the
because I feel
junctions.
like fighting back is important. And I
Because
feel
you
like
got
these
the
videos that I make are important
byproduct
because
as
at
a
least I can
secondary
teach some
input
methods on
instead
fighting
of
back.
priority input.
Even if it doesn't seem like much, the tiniest struggle that you can provide is important.
I just
You know,
forget
it's much
exactly
like
how
Lewis
it
Rossman and his
works, or
Clippy, campaign right now,
if
where
there's
you
even
want
a
these
way
organizations to
that works
know
with just like
that
this.
you know what's up, and you slowly but surely you know how to fight back and resist against this insane level of control that's slowly being enacted over us. So yeah,
Really, it
that's
wasn't
really what I
a
wanted to
problem
talk
with
about,
the
ladies and gentlemen.
power.
If you like what you saw, please
It's
like,
because
comment,
you got
subscribe,
too
dislike
many
it, dislike
power
it.
plants
I'm gonna go
hooked
look at
up.
some cult stuff that I want to record.
We're not
And
using
for
all
anybody that's excited, I'm thinking of a haunted gaming video alongside
because
the
they're not
people
using
that
enough
we
turbo
can
fuel,
fly
and
out of
some are coming
California.
on, going
But,
off, coming on, going off.
Yeah, just got a production.
That was the problem that I was seeing with the power fluctuating. I thought it was a problem
Hey
with the
guys,
power
a couple weeks
system.
ago I was at an Airbnb trying to figure
Barry,
out
it's
what the
because of you
$200
doing
payment fee is
this.
supposed to cover if they're just going to make me do
And
a bunch
that's
of
what's
chores
causing the
anyway.
problem.
When we realized
Yeah,
that
you
episode
wanted me
4 of
to
7
add a bunch of them.
And what great timing. This place had one of those
I
beautiful
mean, I'm not saying, I was just
85-inch
wondering why the
frame
power is
TVs that make it
fluctuating
look
up
like
and
an
down.
art piece on the wall. They had
Because
surround
we're going
sound.
like
They had a
5200
telescope
to
pointed
max,
at the
then it
TV.
goes
I
down
couldn't
to
imagine a more
4920
perfect
all that
place to watch
because
what would turn out to
you
be
got
a
more than what
slightly
we're
confusing
actually
episode of
using.
television. So we turn it on, and instantly
It's like some
we're
are
like,
turn on, turn
why
off.
does this
turn
look
on,
like
turn
shit?
off.
I know that this TV costs thousands of dollars, and yet the moment
Which
anything moves on
really
screen,
is
it turns
not
into this jumbled,
too
blurry
good,
mess. But of course, because this kind of
but
thing
it's
has been
not
happening
really
for
bad
years,
at the
we
same
knew it was
time.
because of True Motion or Motion Plus or
Actually,
whatever
it can
this
be
TV
because I
calls that
see a
feature, where
couple
it smooths out
that are
every
red one
frame and
screen
makes everything
after
you
those
watch look
two,
like it was
and
shot
the rest
on an
red.
iPhone. The best thing about this feature is that it's always on by default,
could wind
and
up
nobody
causing a
I've
problem,
ever
maybe.
met likes it. It's also named something different by every manufacturer, which makes searching the menus for it a little adventure every time. Now, I know I'm not even close to being the first person to complain about
That we're
this
gonna have
feature. It
problems
seems like
more than
everybody
likely
hates it. But
if
that's also
we
why it's
don't
so
get this
confusing
step
to me.
more.
If so many people hate this, why after over a decade
more
are
turbo
TV
fuel production, get
manufacturers
all these
still
running
forcing this
first?
down everyone's throats? How do they benefit from
And
making
it's
their
better to have
product
these
look
pipes
worse? I
filled
remember
and
ecstatically
using all
buying
of them
this
instead of
Samsung in 2019 and almost
have a
returning
certain
it
amount
because
like
the
this.
default settings made it look so bad I thought it was defective. I just kind of sat there in denial about it for
What's wrong
almost a
with
week
turbo fuel
before
is
being like, this can't be right. There
not
has to be a setting
the
I can
residue,
change. Tragically,
really.
though, a lot of people don't
I don't
know about
think.
this setting. They don't realize their TV is
Yeah, it's the heavy
actively
oil residue.
sabotaging their
Or like I said, that
viewing
train came in with
experience.
300 milliliters and it drained out
Probably
fucking
Yeah.
basically
someone you know.
instantly.
And by that I of course mean your parents. So sit down with them.
That's
Explain
one
what's
is no
going on.
problem.
Tell them
But
why
the
you get
second
ahead
one-
It
of
was
them
the,
when
it
you
was,
watch
and
it.
it was, it's the heavy oil production that we're short on because we're short on the oil production because I went and looked at the fucking rubber and shit wasn't being produced for shit because we're short on oil. That's why I'm getting more oil right now.
This means that what was originally a perfectly fine 12 FPS animation is now a janky mess.
Or if they'd prefer to
This is
hear
the
it from
reason why we're
someone they
doing
know,
small
have
factories
Tom
until it
Cruise
gets like
explain it.
nuclear.
Video interpolation or motion smoothing is a digital effect on most high-definition television.
I'm Tom Cruise.
Just make sure they
Once it
never
gets
find out
nuclear,
about the whole Scientology thing. You
I'm not
cannot
focused on
ruin
anything
Top
else
Gun for your
but
dad.
that.
That movie's very important
And
to him.
then
Now, I will admit, I was a
after
little
good nuclear
surprised
stuff
reading
for
some of the comments
basics,
on this video, seeing so many people
which I'm thinking once we
disagree. I
actually
didn't
get
know
to very
people liked
basic
it
nuclear,
when the $100 million movie they're
I'm gonna
watching
make
looks like a
the
soap opera. Now, I
uranium
understand, of course, from a
rods,
gaming perspective, people preferring higher frame
and
rates,
because
but
we
I
got
don't think that
no
logic
waste,
applies to movies. Games are
production,
interactive, so generally the smoother something is, the
being
more
used
responsive it feels. But you're not
to make
interacting
plutonium
with
right
the
off the
movie,
bat.
you're just watching. It
I'm
doesn't
thinking
need to be
has separate,
perfectly smooth. In fact,
like
I
on
think
Kibitz
part of
did.
what makes a movie look like a
I
movie
love his idea
is
because
the
he
sort
had
of
it
ethereal nature
overflow
it has. It
going
doesn't
towards
look
reactors.
exactly like the way the world around you does through
And
your own
I think
eyes,
I'm gonna
and
use
I
the
don't
same
think it
idea
should.
where
I saw someone say
all
they
the
liked
main
it
flow
because it
goes
shows
into
the
sinks no
flaws
matter
in
what.
movies you couldn't see at 24 FPS.
And then
it's
have
like, no,
the power
the
going towards
interpolation
sync
is creating
through
those flaws.
power
It's not
switch
reverting a film back to
that
its
we could
original
turn on
setting.
the
It's not a
power sync.
director's cut your TV's giving you private access to. It's just
that would
generating
sync
new
all
frames based on
uranium
what it
rods
thinks should go in
where it
between
produced
the
no
existing
power
ones.
from it
That's where the errors come
and
from.
no
You're not
waste.
watching a more authentic
And then when we
version
get
of
to
a movie
plutonium,
because Sony Motion Flow
turn on
added a
that
bunch of
sync
blurry auras around every
and
fast
turn
moving
off
object.
the
The
sync
most
for
authentic
uranium
version
fuel
of a
rods.
movie is watching it
That
the
way it
way it was
says,
filmed. You shouldn't
I can't
have to
take
change
this
anything. And I think more than anything
overflow
else, that's
goes
what really
towards
aggravates me
reactors,
about this feature is the
produces
hubris
waste,
of it. There are so many
and
deliberate
then
choices
produce
that
the
go into
plutonium
making
fuel
a movie
rods,
look a certain
and then
way.
goes
There's
into
so
the
many
sync.
people involved in those decisions that know
And that
way
we
more
got
about
too much
cinematography
uranium
than I do.
rods
So
being
I trust their
used
vision. Why can't
and
TV
too much waste
manufacturers
being
do the
produced.
same? Why do they look at a
Then we'll
beautifully
turn
shot
off
television show
the
like
uranium,
it has a problem that they need to
production
fix?
for power,
This experience got me thinking
and
about
then
new
it would use
technology
up
in a
the
more
power
general sense and how my
to
excitement
get rid
towards
of all the
it
waste
has waned
and
over
just turn
time.
to
Sometimes it
plutonium
seems like
anyway.
we kind of already figured everything out. You can communicate
Yeah.
with anyone in the
Think, right?
world instantaneously. You have immediate access to every
You
piece
kinda
of
get the idea
music
of what
ever
I'm
made.
trying to
You
say,
can
right?
pay some guy
Yeah.
to deliver a cold burrito straight
Basically,
to
it
your door,
felt
and
safe
it
and all
only
that.
costs $70. This is the peak of humanity, baby. There's nowhere else to go from here. Except backwards. So many things now
Are you
seem to
working
just
on that?
invent
I'm not
a
gonna
new
be working on
problem so
really
they can sell you
anything
the
at the moment
solution.
except
Or if
for
we do
the-
create something novel and revolutionary, it's
what
only
is
going to
it?
stay that way long enough for us to kill all our competition,
engines and,
allowing us to ruin our thing and make it infinitely more expensive.
What
There was a
was it?
time where streaming services seemed like the final
That's the control
frontier of
units.
at-home entertainment, a marriage of cost and convenience that made all previous options obsolete.
it's
My
already been
DVDs
an
are just
hour
taking up
since
space,
I've
and
been on
even if I
here.
wanted to watch something, I gotta get up, dust off my Xbox, navigate a
like
bunch
it's
of
only been like
menus, switch discs
30
every
minutes
4
at most.
episodes. Netflix is so much better than this. Until, of course, they quadrupled their price and got rid of every show you ever wanted to watch. So slowly but surely, a lot of people are moving away from the unreliable streaming services and going back to physical media. Things like Blu-rays, vinyls, tooth tunes. And I've actually begun that migration process myself.
Yeah, I haven't done
But
anything
because
yet.
I'm incredibly stupid,
The only
here's
thing
how
I've
it's
done
going
was
for me so
troubleshoot
far. I started
the
watching
fact that
Friday Night Lights for the first
the oil
time
wasn't
in
working
December.
right,
It was something
and I
I had
finally got
wanted to
that
watch for
working.
years, but always put off, which
And then
is
we're-
crazy
I
because
was
it's a
gonna
show
do
about
scene where all we
football,
need
which
to
I
do
like,
while the
with a bunch of
power is
music from
fluctuating.
Explosions in the Sky, a band I grew up listening to all the time. It kind of
After
felt
I
like
found
they
out
made
it's
this
because
show
Jess took me to the
specifically for me, and still I was like,
generators
I'll get around to it eventually.
and
it
not
wasn't
enough
until a
turbo
couple of
fuel
months ago that I
produced. I was
finally gave it
circling
a
back to
chance
base,
and got really into
fixing
it.
it, start on
12
the other
days
stuff, and all of a
before
sudden,
it was going to be
I've seen it
removed
say
from
1 man
Netflix.
left.
For the last 2 weeks of December, I binged as much of the show as I could, as quickly as I could,
yeah.
until around 3 a.m. on New Year's Eve. 13 minutes left in the season 2 finale. I was given an abrupt error message telling me that my beloved show was now gone. At this point, I was pretty invested, and I didn't just want to wait until it was maybe on Peacock one day, and I certainly didn't want to spend $2 per episode
in
to
more oil
digitally
coming
own it. So I
in.
decided what better time than right now to begin
here
my
soon
brand
we'll be
new
getting
Blu-ray
it.
collection,
For a bit.
starting naturally with a show I had yet to watch even half of. So about $37 and 8 days later, my Blu-rays show up at my
Most of the
door, and
fucking
I'm
oil in the
ecstatic.
game is
I
over
can't
here.
wait to see how season 2 ends. So I pop the disc in my computer, try to play it, and it does not work. Turns out the external DVD drive I bought a couple years ago isn't compatible with Blu-rays, so I'm gonna have to buy another one. No problem. What's another $110? Jesus Christ. Well, I already bought the Blu-rays. I'm not gonna not watch them. So I bite the bullet on the Blu-ray drive. It shows up 2 days later. Pop it into my computer. So excited to learn what will become of Brian Smash Williams. Huh, that's weird. Doesn't seem to work on VLC. Or the Any DVD app. I guess I could spend $20 on Blu-ray player, play Blu-ray, but that one says in its description that it doesn't play Blu-rays. At this point, I'm a little frustrated, but even more than that, I'm confused. So I go where I always turn to in times of crisis, a Google search with the word Reddit thrown onto the end. And believe it or not, even on Reddit, home of some of the most dedicated people on the planet, every single answer I see is, nah man, Power DVD 23 Essential is your only option. There is one way to watch Blu-rays on your computer, and it is with this app. You want to know how much that app costs? $80. And it's like, I don't want to spend another $80, but I've already spent more than that just to make it to this point. I have to see this through to the end. Anyway, I bought the app, and it works most of the time. Although I should probably say it's been doing this thing now where it tells me my cloud subscription has expired and I need to visit the Cyberlink members zone for more information. So, money well spent. Long story short, I spent $227 to watch a show that I could have seen on Netflix at any point over the past 7 years. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if I like it that much. Also, I know what you're thinking. Drew, couldn't you have just put the Blu-rays
about
into
to
your
set up a dedicated
PS5, you
factory
moron? Yes, I
just for
could
Space
have.
Elevator
But the
parts.
whole point of watching it on my computer
Yeah.
was so I could second screen RuneScape on
I
my
don't
other
think
monitor.
I'm going
What part of
to
dopamine
use
addiction do
alternate
you not
recipes. I
understand?
think I'm
Sorry,
just
that was more of a
space
story about my
recipes.
own incompetence than a rant about the state of technology.
Because
so
you don't
here's
have
a
to be
rant about
online,
the state of
because
technology. I live
are
in
you
Orlando, Florida. My favorite
turned it
basketball
off
team
for
is
the
the Orlando
autopause?
Magic. They play basketball 20 minutes
So,
from my house,
once it
and
got
I
set
am
up
not
and
allowed to
running,
watch them on
be
TV
ranked
because
for good.
I live too close.
As long
I
as
can
we
sign
got
up for
power and
NBA
all
League
that.
Pass and watch any other team play except for the
Which,
one in my city because of blackout
if we wind
restrictions.
up
What do you
having
think I'm
on
stalking
power,
them or something? Whoa, this guy's obsessed. He
I
lives
could
right
wind
down the
up
street.
saying
I
that
don't
the
understand this
switches-
restriction, and frankly, I never will. Is the point to incentivize me
priority,
to buy a ticket to
the
go
Space
see them in
Elevator
person?
as
They play
first
41
priority
home games a
to be
year. Am I
turned off.
supposed to go to all of them? And if that was the point of it, they wouldn't also black out road games unless you expect me to travel with the team. Guys, do you want me to follow them around or not? I'm getting mixed signals here. Anyway, here's what I've had to do the past 6 years as a paying customer in order to watch my team play. First, I had to sign up for Sling TV because they were the only ones with the Fox Sports Florida channel. Then those two couldn't reach an agreement, so I had to switch to Fubo TV because they were the only ones with the Fox Sports Florida channel. channel. Then those two couldn't reach an agreement, so I had to switch to YouTube TV. Can you guess where this is going? Yeah, they couldn't reach an agreement, and now I can't watch it anywhere, this time in the middle of a season. So out of desperation, I sign up for NBA League Pass, which again prohibits me from watching my team because I live too close. The workaround here is using a VPN to change my location to somewhere else. So now I'm paying for 2 different services just so I can watch the least popular team in the NBA. Adam Silver should be ecstatic that there are freaks like me out here. He should have a photo of me in his office that says #1 customer. So what do they do to thank me for my loyal patronage? Block the use of VPN 6 months later. Do you guys want my money or not? I'm trying so hard to give it to you. Okay, now we're in 2022, and finally, there's a streaming app specifically made for people to watch their local team play. It's a miracle. It's called Bally Sports, and it is the worst app I've ever used in my life. It freezes during commercials. The feed cuts out constantly, especially in the 4th quarter. Not that I wanted to watch that part anyway. It refuses to remember my login information in between games. Did I mention they play 82 of these every year? I'm getting real tired of typing in my password every night. While all of this is happening, behind the scenes, Bally's parent company is not doing so well. They lose over $1.2 billion in 3 months. What, were they setting it on fire? Fast forward a few more months to 2023, and Bally is filing for bankruptcy. Well, it was nice while it lasted. Nope, they're still going. Somehow. Turns out I don't know what bankruptcy actually means. What I do know is that this probably doesn't bode well for the growing list of technical problems they apparently don't have the money to address. So that brings us to today, where after 3 tumultuous years, I'm excited to report that the app is now a little bit more reliable. But also it's been rebranded to the FanDuel Sports Network, which means every second of every broadcast is pretty much just one big ad for gambling. I should make a video about that. I know that this is one very specific gripe about a very specific problem, but I feel like there's so many things like this now. So many companies that seem to get their rocks off from making us have to jump through hoops in order to do anything. They're constantly merging with some other companies so they can both be sold to a third company. Content bounces around from streaming service to streaming service like a hot potato. We tried to streamline everything and only made it more complicated. I can't keep up. I'm just a lowly consumer. Everything's so confusing now. I need a break. An ad break. Let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
Hi, I'm the youngest I'll ever be, and I'm here to tell you about today's sponsor, SoFi. I know you've all heard me talk about SoFi before, the all-in-one finance app helping you bank, borrow, and invest, but you've never heard me say these words, SoFi Plus. SoFi Plus is a brand new financial membership that unlocks $1,000 plus in value. I'm talking double reward points, 3% cash back on hotels, loan discounts, unlimited one-on-one meetings with financial planners. All of that and so much more for just $10 a month or for no cost when you sign up with direct deposit. To celebrate this groundbreaking moment, SoFi is giving away a total of $600,000 to help 6 winners achieve their ambitions. Money towards a home, retirement, a dream vacation, or one of the 3 other things on the screen behind me. Sign up for SoFi Plus to be entered for a chance to win, and you can even earn additional entries for every friend that you refer. So head to SoFi.com/Drew, scan the QR code on the screen, or click the link in the description to learn more about SoFi Plus and enter for a chance to win. Thank you so much to SoFi for sponsoring today's video, and thank you to you, the viewer, for listening to me. I know you could have skipped through this section if you wanted to, but you didn't. And I'll always appreciate that. Now back to the video. I know that part of the feeling I'm about to describe is just because of my diminished sense of wonder as I've aged, but I feel like there used to be a time when technology was a lot more exciting to me. I mean, what could be more fun than a gadget? Well, besides a gizmo, of course. But it seemed like most things that came out had a genuine purpose, that there was more of a collective desire to push humanity forward, to provide solutions to actual problems. And I know that this is all still happening, but it seems like so many innovations now are just new ways to manipulate people, or spy on people, or replace people altogether. I'm not excited about what might be created in the future as much as I'm fearful of it. I'm fearful of what AI is threatening to do to every job on Earth. I'm fearful of all these humanoid robots that keep popping up. What if one of them tries to kill me? Or worse, what if we fall in love? How am I supposed to explain that to people? For every OLED Steam Deck and surprisingly powerful tiny Mac computer, there seem to be 10 wearable AI companions, or a TV that's free because it never stops showing you ads. Or what if you could wear your phone on your head so it could never stop showing showing you
through
ads. I remember when
plastic, it does
touchscreen smartphones came
2
out, and I
instead of
practically
1,
started
so-
drooling at the idea. This device, which I hate more than anything in the world, is incredible. It's truly amazing what this thing is capable of, but now the question is, where do you go from here? The jumps
gonna
in
need
phone
motors, rubber bands,
technology have
smart bands,
become
smart
pretty
engines.
unnoticeable, despite how hard they're
Yeah.
trying to get us to notice them. When we went from landlines to cell
we're going-
phones, that was crazy. When they added a full keyboard
gonna
so you didn't have
need
to spend
to
30
get
seconds
trains
typing
set up
one
for
word,
everything.
that was crazy. And then they
That's
added
gonna need
email
power,
and
which
a really
is gonna
good
be-
camera and a touch screen and a GPS and the internet and a compass and now you can pay for parking on here, and you can download apps that
Good
stop you
for
from spending too much
plastic
time
smart
on
thing is just
other apps.
Basic same
Oh, man,
recipe,
that line's
adding
really
plastic.
starting to slow down, huh? And this phone costs 4
The
times as
flexible
much
framework
as this one did.
is add
No, that
rubber.
makes sense. If you Google "has technology peaked," their AI overview will tell you, no, of course not.
Wiring
I'm getting stronger
It's gonna be
every
a tiny
day.
problem 'cause you need
And consider
high-speed
this your
connectors.
second strike, Drew. That's awfully ominous. And what was my
We
first?
don't
No, of course,
have.
technology hasn't peaked, but
No.
like, it does feel like it's starting to level off a bit. The improvements between video game
And then we're gonna
consoles
need
used to be
rubber for
astronomical.
modular
Now I
engines.
end up on a side-by-side
And then
comparison video, squinting as hard as I can,
we're gonna
trying to
need
spot
circuit
any
boards
difference. In 1995,
and
video
modular
games
frames
looked like this.
and
10 years
computers
later, they
automated.
look like this. 10 years after that, they look like
Which-
this. And in the 10 years since, they look like
We don't
which one is the
have.
new one? And I know I'm viewing this from a consumer standpoint.
got
I'm completely oblivious to
the
the strides
heavy
being made
modular
in
frames.
medicine and science and interplanetary
automated.
defense mechanisms. But it just seems like whenever a new thing comes out, we have to pay a lot
yeah.
for very little. Technology has gone so far in the wrong direction that people are now trying to find ways to go back. Physical media is making a comeback. Dumb phones are making a comeback. As people become more disillusioned
wanna
to the
skip
future
the
that
whole
was
back
promised
to
to
the
us, the
space
best way to
elevator.
break out of it is to recapture a sense of simplicity. And not all of this is just nostalgia.
know we gotta have
think
it,
some of it speaks to the
so-
fundamental difference in how things are made now. You used to be able to own things. Now almost everything is borrowed. You're not buying a product, you're subscribing to a service. I don't own a bunch of music because I'm paying Spotify every month. I'm just temporarily given access to music until I stop paying and then
But can you have
nothing to show
multiple
for it. And
saves
even
on
if you
this
do
server
buy
or
a
just the
physical
one?
product, there's no guarantee it's gonna
I
stay
can
in
load
the condition it was
saves.
in
I could
when you
change
bought
the
it. A
game,
lot of things
right?
now
That's
can
what I
be
did when I
remotely
created this. I
updated.
then loaded
You
our
can
game that
deactivate
was
the
not
Spotify
dedicated.
thing completely bricked when they
Saying
stopped
that
wanting to deal with
we
it.
got
You
this
But
might
it
on
can't,
server already.
does not seem it can go reverse though. Right? I can't take this save and then put it into the original. I could take any sort of game that we run non-dedicated and bring it into dedicated. I can't bring a dedicated game into a non-dedicated game.
Can we put another save into this and still keep this one, or
Yes.
These things
what the
aren't designed to last because the entire
That's it, right?
So
It's just like the regular game, right? I can create a new game, load a game within the server manager.
and then get to keep it forever.
So if
How
we
will I
wound
get
up
more money
creating
from
a whole
you in
new
the
world,
future?
we can still
How
load
will
this
line
world up
keep
onto
go
the
up
server,
if
right?
Yes.
transaction over? So things break or become obsolete. A lot
I was
of tech
thinking maybe we
devices
could
are
go
more
into like a
affordable
creative
than they
mode,
used to
test
be,
stuff
but they're
out.
also more disposable. The interface on your 4-year-old smart TV suddenly takes 10
If
times
you're up for
longer
that.
to navigate. Your iPhone 12 suddenly crashes 5 times a day. No, we're not doing that on purpose.
If you want,
Because I'm not
It
full
does
on
kinda seem
creative,
like a
just
sign that it's time to buy a new one, right? And
skip
this
the whole
isn't a
space elevator
conspiracy or an exaggeration.
and have all the stuff
Technology
unlocked
is
already.
making us dumber. Rarely, while using your phone, are you in the driver's seat, except when you're texting.
Don't even know we're
which is a
gonna
lot of
need,
fun.
like,
But
the
it's mostly a passive activity. More
nuclear
often
power
than
plants
not,
are
you
not
don't
just
open
gonna be
an
able to
app in
build
order
for free.
to
We're
do a
gonna need
specific
the
thing. You open
different
an app and
things
just see whatever
to
it
build it.
chooses to show you. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. Either way.
Yeah, I know they take a
every hour
fuck
of your
ton of
life
water.
is
I usually
entirely
put them on a
decided
lake
by
and then
algorithm. You're not
ship
thinking
all the
for
rest of the
yourself, you're not making a
resources
decision
by
for
train
yourself,
to
you
them.
just turn off your
I'm
frontal
not talking
cortex
about
and submit
water
to
to it.
whatever
I'm
Mark
talking about,
Zuckerberg has curated
like,
for you. And the more
the
we're
fused
conditioned
modular
to
frames
accept
that
this
we need to build a
relationship,
reactor
the
itself.
easier it is to sell us an AI agent that does
Like
all
reactor
of our thinking
needs the
for
steel
us, and
beams,
that we learn
rubber
to
and
trust
plastic basic to make.
I mean, how am I supposed to be excited
talking
about
about
technology when this
not
is
having
the
a
direction
state where
we're
we
headed
had to
in?
have
It seems
those
like
items to be able to
everything
get
is
the
slowly
texture.
trying
We
to
just
turn
can't
into
place on our own.
everything else. A new app will come
for
along
free.
with one specific niche use and then inevitably get turned into yet
Have where you
another
need to
form of
produce the
social media.
resources
Like
to
the
build these
Shop
things.
app. I've been using this for a couple years because I like the idea of having one account that
Just
works
get the
across
whole
multiple
space over
websites.
your
But
part.
now, of course, it's just like another thing designed for you to scroll through. I open it up to see how far away my pants are, and it's like, oh hey, you want to buy something else while you're here? You want some Alpha Lion Superhuman Hulk juice? What about Goof juice? Chug juice? Oh, I know what you want. A little cake shaped like Texas. They also give you rewards, but it amounts to virtually nothing and is really just an excuse to send you more push notifications. Hey, don't forget to use that 14-cent credit before it runs out. It only works on this website that sells hoodies for dogs. You
We
open
got
up the
52
Ring app so you can
coupons.
see who's knocking at your door, and they're like, hey, you want to see this funny video of a ghost? Venmo
Sweet.
defaults to the page showing you how many of your friends had pizza this week. Why do I need to know that? I bought that light in the corner a few months ago, and the only way to control it is through an app. And you're probably thinking, certainly there's no social media aspect to an app that turns lights on and off, and that might just be the dumbest thing you've ever said. Of course it has its own news feed and hashtags. Of course there's a pop-up telling me to take the Govi app
Wait,
user
we
experience
got a problem
survey
with
so
all
I can earn
here.
50
What?
Govi points and a chance to win Govi merch. App is a goddamn joke now. Worst change to an app that could ever happen. Can't even remember
Oil's
my
not even a
dream
problem,
view
actually,
settings anymore. May
'cause
as
it's
well
got a
check all my
full
lights and
fluid
then if
tank
this is
of
the only way to
oil.
control them,
There's
it's a joke.
4
I wanted
things
to
of
respond
oil.
to this
They
stuff.
all have their own
I'm just
for their
using
own
Govi
separate
with
production.
hashtag Govi rewards
I'm
program.
sure 2 of
That
them are
process
empty,
is
the ones that are
unbelievable.
connected,
It's
and 2 of them are
savvy.
full that
So
aren't
I
connected.
agreed to the savvy terms and
Oh, we got
conditions,
2
and
of
they
them that aren't
congratulated me on
connected.
becoming
That's
a
right,
savvy
right?
user.
It's just like the heavy oil over
Has
at the
its own
other place.
TikTok feature. Twitter
And
has
it's
its own
right. It's
TikTok
set up
feature. And
to
you probably
be
guessed this because
increased
you've never made
production.
the same mistake twice. The Govi app has its own TikTok
Well, you got the
feature.
4 on the bottom connected to the 4 on top,
Everything
right?
is the same
Yeah.
thing, and I'm tired of it. These apps are all so intent on monopolizing
Or is
your
there
time
8
that
on the
they'll
bottom
design it
total?
in a way that
No,
makes it
there's
hard
four-
to
four
look.
down
Put
low
a
and 4
YouTube
up
link
high.
on the Facebook Messenger
Well,
app, and instead
um,
of just taking you there, it'll be like, oh,
The
guess
2
you
of
wanna
them are
open that
full,
app instead, huh?
but 2 of them are not
Alright,
up on
here's
top.
a button.
Like there's
It
2 on the
doesn't
bottom that are
work,
full,
though.
No, I'm
but the
just
ones they're
kidding. It
connected
will
to on
work
top
if
is
you
not
click it
full.
15 times, and then it will take you to the App Store so you can open the homepage of YouTube
Huh?
and just search for that video yourself. Was that helpful? Good. It wasn't supposed to be. I just noticed the desktop Instagram website has incorporated that thing that's supposed to prevent you from
I wonder if we
accidentally
put,
exiting out like a checkout screen or a form
that
you're
one
halfway through
here.
filling out. But they're just using it
That fix that
anywhere on their
issue, or
website.
these
Literally
fill up.
scrolling through the homepage, I try to leave. They grab my arm and say, "No, are you sure you're done with us? We're just about to show you a really cool ad. Are you sure you don't want to see what it looks like?" Sometimes I feel like you don't even like me anymore. It's no wonder so many people are trying to turn the clock back on technology and return to a simpler era. Not so far back that you gotta like eat bugs and sleep on a log, but just back to when these modern conveniences were still exciting and didn't feel so predatory and manipulative. Technological
These are
advancements
just not
don't
filling
feel
up at
fun
all.
anymore because of the motivations
the-
behind so many of them. It doesn't feel like we're trying to make life better when almost
This whole
everything
save
is
is
designed
messed
to
up
be as
apparently with the
addictive
oil.
as possible.
It's
These
not
things
working
aren't
right.
supposed to be fun additions to your life. They're supposed to be a new
Because you
thing
got
for
2
your
that are
life to
completely
revolve
full.
around.
The other
No
2
amount
are
of
not.
profit or growth.
There
will
should be
ever
4
enough.
full,
It seems like there's
4
more
not
thought
full.
put into how you can continue to charge
Right?
people for something they
There should
alone
down
than
below
to
should be
succeed
2
in
not
the
full and up
experience
above
of it
should
in
be
the
2
first
not
place. But hey,
full,
at least we're
and
using
then
all
2
that extra
full,
revenue to pay the
both
employees.
down below and
There's
up
only
above.
2 full, but all
Sorry,
4 on
I'm doing
top
that
are
thing
not
again
full,
where I try to
period.
provide catharsis by ranting in a critical yet lighthearted fashion.
Oh, did I put pumped on the other one? I probably only put pumped on the ones I'm using.
got pumps on it, it's going up, it's just not working
Number
on
one,
top.
fiber internet. In 2018, we lived in a house where it would take me
Probably,
2 hours
it's probably
to
the floor, the pipe floors. I've had problems with those a lot. I've had to delete and reconnect pipe floors all the time.
That's not the problem, it's...
I have had to disconnect and reconnect pipe flooring all the time. The floor holes, yes, they are buggy as fuck. I've had to...
Not the floor hole, because the other oil node that we were working on, it was not working for some reason. I finally, after like 10 minutes or so, finally got that going into buffers, put it onto the train.
I mean, I just got done loading up this train station. This train station is completely full of oil right now. It didn't have any problems.
And you know what? They're still not as bad as Spectrum.
Well, that's because I fixed the problems with that one normal node.
I'm talking about over where I am, right? I just got done putting oil drills on not another one on all the other oils that are around us.
I got another part of it. Not this one that I was talking about. I'm talking about the normal node that we have besides the two impure. We're having problems with that already. And apparently same issue over here. It's not the floor holes specifically, it's fluids, period.
YouTuber to promote your shit for free? Never gonna happen, bozo.
Those I want to come up to the pipes and go into
Why was I scraping
because these pipes are full, it's just the buffer's not filling up.
But they're cheaper in the long run because you don't have to change
I'm
the
there on
blades
top
all
and it
the
says
time.
9.2
And I can use it on my balls.
in the pipe, but it's no flow right in or out.
Oh,
It's
was that it? It was just the three things. All right.
20.2 in there.
Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want. As always, YouTube gives me $100 for every new subscriber, which
There's
I
one
like to
pipe
withdraw as
that
cash and use as kindling to help make it through
full.
this brutal Florida winter. So remember, every time you subscribe, you're
11.
keeping me and my family warm.
You're going up and down.
For a couple of minutes. Thank
The
you for
crude
watching.
oil in the buffer that's connected to is 94.1, while the other side of the buffer is 3.4 instead of the same amount as the other side.
Hey guy, welcome back to
Should
another
be
hilarious
equal.
YouTube video. Please subscribe to
Right?
join the Drew Gooden gang.
You probably thought that was me.
Well, I'm gonna come
But
look.
what if I told you that entire
I just
I'm
forgot to
so
fucking put up goddamn signals at this T-junction, so the fucking train couldn't turn here.
I don't know how to do that.
Hey guy, welcome back to another
Now I
hilarious
understand what you're saying about the floor holes, but you're saying something that doesn't even connect to what is going on. Even it is floor holes, that doesn't make sense on why the floor holes would stop the two pipes. Not from even explaining, because if this one pipe is 10,
still aren't available and won't be until nearly halfway into the product's life cycle.
where the M is,
Or maybe it's because
there's
every
10
new
one
iPhone
pipe,
costs
it should be 10 the
$20,000.
other.
But I think Apple's
No matter
condescending and
that the
mean-spirited
fluid
commercials
buffer
are also having an effect on how
not enough
people
oil is
view
unless
the
it's
product.
past
Commercials targeted
10.
at people who aren't just
But it's
stupid,
94.1,
but also kind of
it
shit.
should mean
Every
there
single one
should
of them
be
is basically just, are you
I
tired
fucked
of
up.
having to
going into
do
this pipe is
anything?
not even
Well,
going
now
into
you
it.
don't have to. You don't have to type.
It's
You don't
fluids.
have to read. You don't even have
trying
to
to not
think.
the floor
Finally,
holes,
you
it's
can
the
just
fluid pipes,
mindlessly waddle
period.
your
The
way
fluid
through
mechanics,
life as
period, on the
barely
server.
functioning zombie we've always dreamed of selling things to. Like
You said that's why I just got done setting up a whole bunch of pipes. I didn't have any fluid problems. I just got done putting down like fucking 6 oil extractors or something like that, and piped them all to the station. And they all are all flowing. The station filled up.
But of course, he didn't read it. So he spits in the face of the hard work done by everyone around.
I mean, I know the floor holes have huge problems. There's multiple times that I've had to rebuild on the floor hole.
I love when everybody else does work except for me.
That can be the floor holes if this is having the same problem as that one normal node that we set up over here
It's good to know
without
that every time
floor
I open
holes.
the mail app from now on, my phone's going to be sitting
It's like the
there with
pump
its
was
arms
supposed to
crossed, shaking its head as I
get
stumble
50
through
meters
some
for
crappy
Mark
attempt
II,
at a meaningful
even though we were
reply.
going
Alright,
past
dumbass, just give it to
the
me.
50
I'll
meters.
figure it out.
We were on like
Oh,
9 and
Jesus
10
Christ,
meters.
Man, are you even breathing?
Pump Mark 1
Oh, I
should
forgot I
be able
had
to survive the one
Thanks
pipe,
for
but Mark
reminding
2
me.
was
So,
not
what did you think of the
passing
picture
the
I
thing.
emailed you?
Yes, the one that
Until
you
I
emailed
wound up
me. Here we are.
making
very
it
Victorian, which
a
I
little bit
loved.
different
Unique
way.
relationship is
It's-
formed. I love unique relationships.
I'm pretty sure
Good
it's
twist.
the
Did
fluid
I read it?
mechanics
Great.
messed up because
I'm
the
gonna tell
server's
you
not
my
optimized still.
What? So they just committed to
It's like
doing
people
a
had
whole movie
problems
they know
before with the
nothing about
servers,
other than
with the
how
belts. I
phone
think the
described
fluid
it?
pipes
That
are
doesn't
having
sound
the
like a
same
great
problem.
career move to me.
It's
What if the
on
script
single
is
player, we're on
terrible?
a dedicated server,
What if
which
the
I don't
movie's
think is
racist?
optimized
Don't
for
give me
me.
that smug look like you just outsmarted me. You're the one
Or-
who just agreed to be in a racist movie.
I still haven't optimized it yet,
Siri,
probably.
what's the name of the guy I had a meeting with a couple of months ago?
You met Zach Wingate.
Honestly, don't know.
Hey.
Sad.
Have I forgotten people's names before? Absolutely I have, and I will do it again. But what I've learned in life is that 90% of the time, it's not that big of a deal. I have never taken it personally when someone doesn't remember my name, because there's a lot of information getting tossed around in our brains, and sometimes
Because I
it doesn't
hopped out of a
prioritize
train and I
important
couldn't
stuff.
move.
Instead of names and birthdays, it'll save song lyrics you heard one time 20 years
Yeah,
ago. It
that's the
happens.
problem.
Just
Then
be
it's
honest
more
about it.
likely
Would
a
it be the
server,
end
not
of the world
actual
to have
fluids.
a regular human interaction with
Because
someone?
fluids
Does
could
Apple
be
just
having
want us
a problem
all to lie to
because
each
the
other
servers
now?
have
Yes,
problems.
of course I read the text you sent me, Josh, my husband. But as much as I hate those
That's
commercials, they all
front of
pale
that.
in comparison to the worst of these ads.
Happy birthday,
Yeah, there's two empty here. It's the upper ones that are being used. The lower ones aren't being used. The upper ones are being used.
Thank you.
No, because there are
You got
only
Did you do
two
this
upper
yourself?
ones being used. The other
Thank you,
two
Drew.
things are not powered. That
Love you too.
This
the machines are not powered. Are the ones I'm talking about. Like this machine over here. It's
Are
not
you
powered,
fucking
and it's
kidding me?
connected to
This
this buffer
character
right here.
Sucks. I don't want
This
to be like
buffer
this person.
should be
Not only
filling up
forgot her
because the other
spouse's
one's filled
birthday,
up
but
to
got
it.
annoyed that their kids didn't. Who interrupted a
But
beautiful
look at this
moment
though,
between them
and
their
this is why I'm
dad
saying
so
it
she
can't
could show
be
them some
these
stupid
floor
photo
holes because you
montage
look at
Siri
this
threw together in 4
floor
seconds.
hole
This is
coming
like
into
that
this
thing
pipe.
little kids
This
do
pipe
before
is
they
going
learn
up
to
and
pick up
down.
on social cues. They'll interrupt
Fluid
a
buffer's staying the
conversation
same,
like,
but the pipe
Mom,
after right here
what I
is
can do."
staying the same.
Wow,
It
that's
shouldn't
really
do
great,
that.
honey. And this
Yes, but
If
there's-
this
there's-
has 10 right here, it should be the other one has 10, but it's
These,
not.
yes, these, this is not connected, right? This does not have power.
Connected to
But
the
also, all
buffer
of these
though.
things in
Yes,
But
but this
for-
does not have power. That is for the next row of them, right? These are the ones that are connected and running. These buffers are empty. These two buffers are empty, along with the two buffers up above.
94.1.
as quickly as possible. So what exactly
This
are
buffer
the
right
things
here
we're
on top
supposed to
has
like doing
94.1.
that we're
Yes, that
expected
is
to
not
do?
being
Driving
used.
through
That's what I said,
traffic,
right?
scrolling
Two are
through
being
the
used.
This
Or do we need to wait
pipe
until our phone can do
do not
that
have
for us
just
too? I think there's
3.4,
always gonna be things in life that
3.5.
you don't really
It should have
wanna
more than
do
that
and wish you
because
could fast forward
there's more than that in the
But
buffer.
To what end? If you could just skip through
But this
every
other
single
pipe
thing
on the
that's
other
even
side has
remotely
more,
tedious or unenjoyable, you'd
oil
probably
in
just
it than
skip
this
straight
one
to
on
your
this
deathbed,
side.
filled with regret.
It should be evened
Also
out.
a newfound appreciation for the mundane. If that sounds familiar to you, it's
Like
because it's
this
the
one right
plot
here,
of the
it
movie
has
Click, starring
10
Adam Sandler. I
at
like the part where he
most.
made boobs go in slow
That
motion and
means
then ignored his
this
family
should
for
have at
One of
least
the other
10,
key features of
and
Apple
this should have
Intelligence
at least
is
10 because
message
they're all connected.
summaries, and I
This
can't
only has
imagine
3.5.
ever wanting to use this. I don't
Even
want
though
my
that has no
fucking
power, it
text
shouldn't be going
messages
in.
summarized.
This
If
pipe
someone
should
took the
filling up
time
if
to
this is
type
filling
out
up a
words
little
for
bit
me to
at
read,
all.
I'd like to read all
see
of
what I'm
them.
saying?
If I take the time to type something out for you, I'd certainly prefer
That's
you
the way
read the
fluid
whole
mechanics
thing,
work in
Uh,
not just
Satisfactory,
have
but
it
it's not
Headlift
working
exceeding
cram it into
exceeding
one
recommended level. That's why it's too
sentence
big.
devoid of any emotion. Of all
For
the
this
things that
MK1
it
pump.
might be useful for AI to consolidate, communication with other people is
Oh, you can't just
absolutely
replace
Yeah.
pumps? That's
Again,
stupid.
what's the vision?
That's
It-
not right.
I wanna
it
try
literally
out
s-
A pump like
something,
that
but
will
I don't
work
really feel like typing
normally
it all
in
out.
single
So
player
I'll
do the
just tell
same
my
thing.
phone the
It says
gist
it
of what I'm
right as
trying to
right as I
say.
now it doesn't say it because I
But then,
put
of
it the
course,
MK2
person
pumps
I'm
down, but
talking to
it said
also
that
doesn't
the
know
headlift
that.
was
So they have
was
their
22
phone
meters and it
summarized
could only do
into
20.
Reducing it back to the original thesis I lazily pumped out a few
Well, it
minutes ago.
should
So at
have
this point,
the-
all we've really done is
see how
throw
this
in an
has
unnecessary
those
middleman
circles
we're
going
both
up?
ignoring. But then what happens
If you
when
place
even
one
that
right
two-sentence
here,
summary
See, look
is
at-
too much for someone to
They're being filled
20
now.
meters
Consolidate
past
even
that Mark
further?
1, it
Hell,
should have
They're
enough
being
thing.
filled now. Look.
Why don't we all just sort of grunt at each other until we're on the same page? Would that
Okay,
make
then.
it easier to talk
It
to
was
people?
there was too much headlift for the MK1 pump. That's why. It was 22 meters and MK1s can only do 20.
I thought that was less than 20 meters right there.
No, that's when I looked at the pump. If you go into a pump and look at it, it'll say how much the headlift was, and it said it was at 22.
Yogurt Time song's hilarious, and Samantha is Drew's loyal follower. Good to know.
Okay.
The main feature I want to talk about.
All right, I've got the other oil set up now. I need to go fix the T-junction. I fucked it up somehow.
That was confusing the crap out of me because
Studio backend. Some of them would have these auto-generated.
I know
replies
how
as
fluid mechanics is
prompts
supposed to
for you
work, and it's like
respond with. For a long time,
the
these were all
pipes are
super
supposed to even
generic, just like,
out.
thank you or sorry. But
And
at
if
some
the
point, a
fluid
couple months
buffer
ago,
has,
they
like,
updated
more
these to
than
be way
the
more
pipe does,
specific,
like,
with AI
let's say it had
that's
like 100,
trying to use context
one pipe
to
has
understand
10, one
what's
has
happening,
5,
but
that
is
shouldn't be
almost
possible if
always
it's
wrong. Thank you so much for saying piss and wobble within 10 seconds.
Okay,
of
what
each other.
happened?
You're welcome.
I don't
Just
know.
trying to spread awareness. Awesome sauce. It's literally just sauce.
Where
This a
is
great
the
Christmas
fuse
present
blown
to get
at?
on my
Because
feed today. Happy holidays.
these
or,
are still
sorry,
running
happy
green.
birthday. If you're wondering why they didn't just say Merry Christmas, it's because according to them, Christmas is
Everything's
not
running
a
over here.
real
Everything's
holiday.
orange.
I
Should
went to the
be red
casino
if
a couple
it's
times in
blown
my early 20s,
fuse.
pulled $200 out and lost it over the course of an hour or two.
Huh?
Sorry to hear that. That is awesome. What I find so
You
fascinating
didn't
about
reset
these
fuse,
is that
did you?
they're specifically
Huh?
trying to suggest things
You didn't
they
reset
think
the
I
fuse,
would
did you?
say.
Nope.
They try to answer questions.
I'm
on
over
my
here at this
behalf,
T-junction
but they
fixing
don't
that I
know
fucked up.
anything about me. So they have to
Okay.
just make shit up.
You didn't
Wonderful
reset
video. My
fuse.
dad would always
Neither
say,
did I.
never gamble more than what you want to lose.
Why is their
Very
fuse
simple
blown?
way
Why
of
is
thinking of
everything
it.
working?
Hope it helps
Because
someone.
we don't
That's a
have
good
power
one.
switches. And if blown a
I
fuse,
have-
everything
I
should
wish
be
I
off.
could tell you something my dad used to always say, but I can't. Because apparently he doesn't exist. I send my mom your videos. She loves them. Hi, Mom.
My mom
Oil
doesn't like
to
my
oil
videos.
production.
And I don't have a dad.
And I also don't eat rice.
has to
and my
be
shirt is dirty
something
because
wrong
I wore
with
it to the
that
game.
then.
And the road work ahead car, I've never seen it in real life.
So
Except
why
for the
did
time I
that
was
have a
driving it
problem
in
with
the
oil
bomb,
to oil
but then I parked
production?
it on the side of the road and never looked at it
But
again.
nothing
It's
else,
so
because
weird
that's-
to read AI confidently invent personal.
Because it's over at the second farm right now, and I have the T-junction broken apart, so it doesn't have a route right now.
Telling a story about going on a cruise.
Alright,
and
that's
in
the route
response to
problem,
someone
not
Yes.
the
telling me
power
about
problem.
that,
Yes, if you're looking at the trains, I saw it go down to the second farm I created,
Imagine being a
but I fucked up the T-junction, so I'm recreating the T-junction
Wind up
right now.
having anything down there powered that's not connected to the main grid.
Quarter a pull.
Huh?
I thought I was gonna make a fortune.
Did you wind up plugging up anything to power that's not connected to the main grid?
Why does AI just want everyone to
No,
lie
it's
to
all
each other
connected
the
through the
time?
train
I could
station.
watch and totally love the song, been streaming it on Apple
Impossible
Music. Yeah, well, it's
that
just a song I
there's
found on YouTube.
fuse
I don't even know
blown.
what it's called. They're talking about a song that I helped make. I know what it's called.
Oh my
It's
god,
called
what is
Cascade,
going
and
on?
you can listen to it wherever you stream your music. Not many people realize this unless you live in a few states, but on Native American land, natives
I
are
can't
allowed to
handle
run
this right
casinos.
now.
I don't know much about that. I'm just a dumb gamer. I'm so fucking
Let's see,
stupid.
got me all
Regulations are the
confused
reason
right
cars are so
seconds.
big. Emissions regulations are far less strict for
Say
trucks,
fuse
which
blown.
incentivize car
On mine.
manufacturers to
It
make
did
bigger
say on
vehicles
your
to
end,
get them
right?
classified as
Yep.
trucks to save money. I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm a dumb car driver.
So apparently you
Sorry,
had to
everyone.
fix something up.
Gotta get home and play my game.
That need power amp,
nefarious
blown
tactic these
fuse for
sportsbooks
that.
use, limiting successful gambling.
That's
If you lose
not
often, there's no
connected.
end to the promotions and offer you'll receive. But I'm gonna
That'd
stop
be
you right
something
there.
you done
I don't know
because
what
I
I'm
never
talking about.
touched the
I'm
power.
just a kid.
The only
It's
everything
just
I
connected
connect is through the
power.
train
What makes
station.
this feature especially
Because everything
think
I've done
power,
doing
like
is train,
70% of
so
the
I build a train
is
station
some
way the fuck
variation
out,
of-
and then I just
I
pull
don't know,
power
cool
from the
video. Is
train.
that a lot like Bird's shirt? I don't know what that is. I fell asleep while watching this video. 10 out of 10, very relaxing. I don't even know what that
Alright, so
means.
these rails can
Interesting. I don't know what that
transfer
means.
power?
Good.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? The kids
That's what I said. That's what I was telling you, right? That's one of the nice things about trains. You just plop down a
Alright,
train
so the
station, and you can
problem
pull
was-
power from it.
I don't even know how shoes are
The
supposed
problem
to work.
was
I don't know what that means.
you
I
put
don't know
down
what that
train
means. I don't
station
know
and
what
blown
that is. I
fuse
don't know what
because
you're
they
talking about.
connect
I
to the
don't know what
main
you're
power
talking about. I don't
yet.
know what Friday is. and I
Because
don't know what 13 is. And
the
I don't
fact
know what a
that
poll
lines
is. And I don't know what
weren't
YouTube
connected.
is. It happens so often. I don't know if they're trying
that
to
could-
speak for me or
if
if
you
they
destroyed
just don't know
these
what's
two
going
lines
on
coming
and
down
felt
here,
compelled to tell me
all
that.
this
But
to
it's funny
stop,
because even if that was my
having
genuine
power, which
reaction
would
to
blow the
something,
fuse down
why would I need
here.
your help
No.
saying that?
Blowing the
I'm
fuse is
Yeah.
only when you go
And I
over your
can't
power
even
limit.
think of
If you
I don't
disconnect
know
something
on
from
my
a power
own.
line, it's
I
not
had
blowing a
nothing to
fuse.
add. Okay, then why
Not
even
saying you'll
say
be
anything?
disconnecting this
so
power
sorry to butt in
lines
here. I just
from the
wanted to
main
say,
network by
I have no
disconnecting
idea
a
what you guys
railway
are
right
talking
in the
about.
middle of it,
That's fine.
right?
Oh yeah.
It's just hard for me to give my
So it was
input
what you
when I
done.
don't even know what's going
You
on.
connect to
Sure,
something that wasn't
really
empowered.
ask.
No, I
Because
completely
you had
I
to
completely
Next time you
deconstructed
guys
that
call
T-junction
me
right
for
there
advice,
because I
try
fucked it up.
cluing me in a bit first.
So that
And then
that
that caused the
Covered
power
Yeah.
topic in
to
such a
switch
compassionate and
off
dignified way, and I feel
because
like
you
it will really
disconnect
help a
the
lot of
power
young
to
people
all
who may be
this train
struggling or may
station.
not have realized the hole they're digging.
That's
You're
where
a
the
really good
fuse
friend to your
that
friend.
alone was
I don't even know
from.
what that means,
yeah.
Because
but
you
it
disconnected
makes
the
me
power
feel good.
from
So,
the train
thank
station to all
you.
these
Tarzan-ass
machines.
response. Hi, Mr. Drew Gooden. It's good seeing you around. Who?
Not because you
Who the fuck
destroyed
is
the
this Drew
T-junction
guy?
up
He's got
there.
like every YouTube essay.
That's
I watch
what
on video.
happened.
I don't even know who these people are to be honest.
Okay.
My friends? I don't know who my friends are.
Had me
That
all
would've been an
confused for a
insane
second, but
video. video to make if I didn't know those people. Oh wait, this is weird. Someone said good video, and the
I was
AI
like,
wants me to
I can
say,
speed
I
unless
don't
you
know
done
what that
something, because
means.
I never even
I'm
plugged
on this
anything up to
program
power.
tell you about
I
today's
seen-
sponsor, SoFi?
Look and see everything was still online. As I calculated beat.
now?
Yeah,
These are
6
calculated
more.
beats,
There's
bro.
6 more things of oil over there that I connected up.
Because you disconnected all that from power by disconnecting the T junction from it.
Why do I love love SoFi checking and savings? Because I can earn up to
But-
4% APY on my savings with direct deposit, which is 9 times the national average savings rate. Why do I love the void? I don't. I hate it. Your
don't
typical
understand.
savings account with direct
How
deposit
is
at
it
your
that
local bank
you
earns you
reconnect
just
it and it has power, but
0.43% in interest,
if a
according
fuse
to the
blown, you
FDIC
gotta go
National
reset
Savings app.
yourself.
But with my SoFi
Because
high
it's
yield
not
savings
actually
account,
right. Because like I said, it's not actually blowing the
in my
fuse.
savings account,
Because you're
earn
not
more than
right. Because you're not
41
actually
more
overpowering
in
it. It's
SoFi
just
checking
basically
and
losing
savings,
power.
you get paid up to 2 days early.
Right? If you were to have a building that was producing something, and then you pulled out the power, it would lose its power, and then when you reconnected it, it would just start working again, right? You wouldn't have to flip a fuse
But if
for
it
it.
loses the power, it wouldn't save
Cramping
fuse
here,
blown,
though,
would
those
it?
words.
That ad read was genius.
I don't know.
Thank you so much for the entertainment. I hate that ad. I hate that ad that I did. Maybe
I'm
the
gonna try
AI just
something real
thinks
quick.
I'm stupid because it's stupid too. This person says, I'm a bit
Because they know
north
all
of
this
Florida.
is
I live
connect
right
to a main
next
power
to
source through
Florida.
one
Got
line,
it.
basically.
Okay. So
I'm gonna try to
in
disconnect
Florida?
it, see
Come
if it
on,
actually
man. They gave you 2
blown
chances to
fuse
figure
and
it
then
out,
come
and you
back
still couldn't
online
do
without
it.
me
And if
having
I'm
to
not being
reset
the
it if
dumbest
I
person
reconnect
who's
the
ever
power to
lived,
it.
I'm instead replying to compliments with things like, yeah, I know. Good vid. Yeah, it was hilarious. I'm funny as fuck. Such an important and relevant
Because
video.
if you
Thank
disconnect
Yeah, I
the
know
power
it's a big
line from a
deal. Thank you
machine,
for this video.
it's
yeah,
not
I
gonna
know
say
it's
it, but
a
if
big
you
deal. Glad you made
disconnect
this video. We needed it. You're
the
telling
line
me, man.
from the
That
power,
would get me to
then
make more videos
reconnect
like
to
this.
the power.
It's really funny that they want me to be both a massive narcissist and a complete moron. Not that that's an impossible or even rare combination to pull off, but you're
How
not
can that
doing
be?
me any
Because
favors by bestowing
I
it
literally
upon me.
just
And if that wasn't
disconnected
bad
all the
enough,
power
some of these
and then
suggestions are
saved
just so
blown
mean
fuse.
for no reason. Kurt's dad's review, getting Drew to buy the pool table and outdoor net, is a lovely little crossover.
Huh?
I've never even watched that guy's videos. Why would I listen to him? I got this one for my cat from Amazon. I know that the segment about replacing Mr. Rogers and teaching children good
I'm done.
values was a bit.
I'm not.
but honestly, I started watching your videos like 7 years at the age of
I
9.
can't do
I'm
it
about to turn
very
17
right now.
and I can say with confidence that
Yeah.
your videos probably helped not only shape my humor, but my values as
It's
well.
got me all
Obviously, your
confused. I'm
videos
not
were
gonna deal with
anything
it.
teaching me morals, but I think they played a big part in my thoughts and opinions. I know it was a bit. Dumbass. Drew, please make these videos again. I love your commentary. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's weird that you're watching my videos. Get the hell out of here.
I think I
man.
might
Oh my
actually
god,
get
this
off
one they
here
didn't even
'cause
try. They just
my
said,
mind's not
that's a
working
really
quite
long
right.
comment. I don't really care. What, even the AI couldn't be bothered to read all that? That's its only job. If you wanted someone to read 1/8 of a comment and then give up on it because they got bored, I'm perfectly capable of doing that myself. This person commented, great video on my video AI is ruining the internet, and that's always good to hear. But here's how YouTube thinks I should respond
gonna
to
get off
this.
for now.
I can either say, I know, right? Can you believe how good I am at YouTube? Or I can say, you know what else is
trying to
ruining
think
the
of what I
internet?
need to do,
Which
but I
is
can't really
honestly
think
insane. Like, am
right.
I implying that this person is ruining the internet? That's how you want me to respond to a compliment? Not only is this a ridiculous suggestion, but I think I might have accidentally revealed how their comment algorithm works. Remember when people figured out that Google's search AI was sourcing a lot of its information from random Reddit threads? Well, they must also be doing
Alright.
that for this comment feature, because you know what else is ruining the internet is a word-for-word title from a Reddit post about my video. Only in this context, the implication is
And
that
you already
people
know
who
one
leech off of
online's
the
not
work of
working
others
quite
by
right,
posting
too.
low-effort reaction videos are ruining the internet. And in this context, one of my own viewers is ruining the internet by enjoying my video. Thanks for the suggestion, AI. Also, I wonder if a lot of these suggestions are mean because they're using transcripts
one
of
thing
my
I really
videos
hate
to
about
train the
Town Hall
bot. And maybe
3 is-
because I tend to be angry when I rant about certain things, they
Gets my head
transfer that
kinda
energy
foggy.
towards my viewers, which is hilarious. Like, just because I complained about how
you
shitty
know
know I
this
this
know what
Tylenol.
I'm doing.
doesn't
I
mean
don't know what I'm
also
doing.
want to yell at everybody who says something nice to me. Sometimes the AI will overcompensate for all of the anger and narcissism by instead going
Have you ever
way
taken
too
any
far in
medicine
the other
where
direction and making it sound like
You
I
know
hate
what you're
myself.
trying to
Good
do, but you
video.
can't
Is
think
it-
of what you're doing.
Is it a good video? Or are you just saying that? Thank you for making this video.
No.
It's really good. Not sure why you would think that. This is the worst
I might
video
just
I've
be
ever
me, but-
made. I hope more people see this. Good work as always, Drew. No.
It's like I
This
know
is
I'm
my
trying to
worst
get
video
the
yet. I can't even
larger
remember what
engines
the
and
hell I was
adaptive
thinking when
control
I made this
units,
video.
uh,
I don't even know
I know
what
what I
I'm
need,
still
but I don't know
on
how to
YouTube
actually
anymore.
do
This
it at the
person
same
says,
time.
Jesus loves you. And the
Now,
AI
if
says,
I had
"Not
more of a clear
much."
mind,
Oh,
it wouldn't
Jesus
be
could
so
never
bad,
love
but
a guy like me. I know his whole thing is like
just
he
can't
loves
right now.
everybody or whatever, but for me, it's just the bare
know what I mean?
minimum amount. Wow, thanks
Yeah.
YouTube algorithm. It's just a video of me talking about a phone I don't even own.
I mean, for me, the
It's
only
not
thing I
that
ever
deep.
had
First of
was
all, relax,
when I got
right? You don't have to
fucking
take
ran
it so
over. My
personal. First of all,
painkillers
this
that I
isn't a
had
video of me talking
made me
about a phone.
feel
It's
like
a
shit,
poll I
made me
posted
vomit,
7 years ago.
gave me
Sorry,
a headache,
3 years ago?
and
No,
fucking made me
2 days
sweat
ago.
like
But
crazy.
it was supposed to come out 10 years ago. Or, never mind, it was 7 years ago, back when I was still a child. And you may think 2017 was 7 years ago, but that's not the year that came to mind to me, because
I
as we
just
all
don't
know,
feel right
it's
right now.
2023. What would we do without
least I
this
don't have the
technology?
tooth
Alright, the
pain,
last thing I
though.
wanted to talk about in this video isn't something that's happening by YouTube, but just something
I
I've
don't
seen
feel
more
that
and more of
horrible,
on
but
YouTube. These
still,
AI-generated trailers to movies that
It's
do
that
not
kind of being
exist
drugged
and
up that you don't
hopefully
like,
never
period.
will. Interstellar 2,
Yeah,
Resident Evil
weird
4,
gun, all that.
Skyrim.
The Dragonborn, born with the power to command the voice of the dragon.
I think I'll be watching that one in theaters. Some people see these and get excited. Some people see them and get pissed. What a hell did I just
I only
watch?
take
It's
them when I
crazy how
really, really
popular
have
some of these
to.
have gotten. This Titanic 2
Because
trailer
this
has
reason.
8 million views. I'll give him a little bit of credit. It is kind of funny. The idea that
Yeah.
not only did Jack actually survive the crash,
Sometimes I
but
think
he and Rose meet back
it's
up
alright to
and
take 'em,
decide
but
to go on another Titanic.
I'm not gonna take
What's
because it's not
stopping us?
that horrible.
You're serious.
You know, I probably
Here we
should.
go again to find answers.
Because I still
I'm
like
pretty
the
sure we
feeling
already
of
know
it.
how the boat sank. Iceberg. Home Alone 3, Kevin's Revenge will blow your mind. Does he even need revenge? Didn't he practically kill everyone already in the first two? Unless, of course, he's getting revenge on his
Don't get me
parents
wrong, I
for leaving
love
him
Take
alone in
Tom
the first
3
place.
because
Now that I would understand.
it really does
He's
work.
a grown man now.
I mean,
He
really
can be
well.
home alone. That's not some dire
But it's just
situation.
the
I do
feeling
that all
of
the
it that
time, and I
I
almost
hate.
never have to defend my home from bandits. You got Transformers 8, where Dwayne Johnson appears
Like
to
any kind of
be a
painkiller or anything
Transformer.
like
Do you
that.
think he transforms into a giant fighting robot, or is he like
Something
a
that's
regular guy that
that's strong,
transforms
it's-
into the Rock? Wait a second. They're
I
no
just don't like the feeling
Transformers
of it.
6 and 7 live action movie. I confused.
You know, I love the fact that
iRobot
that's
2
help.
will
It's
blow your mind. Because the robots have boobs now. Actually, kind of
Don't
seems
feel
like
right.
AI cleavage in the thumbnail is sort of the meta. What if character people like, but with
Ah!
big boobs? And if you thought a bunch of dudes wouldn't be weirdly turned on by this, you were wrong. AI girls are something else. You know, I think this misguided horny person might have accidentally described them perfectly. Because they're not human, and they're not even really animated women. They're kind of just something else. Now, people getting tricked by fake movie trailers is not a new phenomenon. This has been happening for years. And I'll hand it to some of the people who've edited these. They can be pretty convincing. It takes a lot of time to stitch together a bunch of scenes from different movies and combine them all in a somewhat
Okay,
seamless
so,
way. I think what
do
really
you know much
blows
about
my
the
mind,
bill
though,
that
is
Trump
how
passed the whole
unedited
gaming thing?
Is that a payment processor can't decide what's legal or not for them to process. There's something about, because it's in their terms of services, and basically he said those terms of services are no longer legal. The sections that basically allows them to say that we aren't going to
So correct me if wrong, but it doesn't just go for just gaming things. It goes for more than just that, right? Or no?
It's going
That's-
for
I
gaming
remember
things
I think
because
once-
it's going for gaming things because that's what's getting censored
I
by
know
them
it's
right
gaming,
now.
but
But essentially, it could
I
be
remember I think
anything.
one that went further than just the games, though. If I remember right.
I mean, it,
I mean, it's
they could. I don't know of anything else that they've done it with, but it prevents them from doing it from anything else, right? They started censoring games. That is why it's being said that way, right? Because they're going to stop that.
Steam, though. I know that for sure. It's been a while since I've seen that video about it. This before it was actually signed, when it was a possibility that it's going to be signed. That when he was trying to get it all done. That's when I was watching the video. Well, I can tell you exactly how long ago it was. Let me get back on YouTube real quick. Because I remember it said, Trump saves gamers as his title. The only reason I was saying anything to you about it is because I know you watch him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I already seen it. Like I said, right? It's just being worded that way because the games are what was being censored. But yes, it prevents them from being able to do it to anything else. Right? Like I said, what it does is it, right? Just like if you give someone an NDA that says you're gonna go kill this person and you're not gonna tell anyone about it, right? You can't do that. An NDA can't supersede the law. So what he did was sign a bill because it's in their terms of services, right? Through Visas and MasterCards, that they basically have the right to do that. That the new law says that's no longer valid. It doesn't matter if it's in their terms of service. That's against the law.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, did you hear about the whole thing with Roblox?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's been going on forever. The government, I think
Actually, the latest thing.
The government's
It's been
like
going on
saying,
about Roblox trying to hide all this. But Roblox finally being sued by bigger people than what they actually want to deal with. They had small people that are vigilantes on this thing they try to get rid of. Now they're having to deal with bigger problems with people like Florida State going after them. Along with the, I don't know if it's true or not, but I remember Penguin also showed a thing where it said something about U.S. government suing them. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, they got even bigger problems than the vigilantes they have on there now. Because they're trying to ban people from being vigilantes, which, even though you can't really do that much legally to arrest people.
yeah, you can. The dude that got
I mean, not the
banned
same
and
as a cop can do.
well, that's the
But
thing, right?
still,
They
you got
work
certain laws
with
where you
they
can't
work
act
with
like
police
cops.
force, right? Just like fucking Chris Hansen, right? There is a lot of
Actually,
pet
vigilantes
there
don't
is a lot
always
of
work with
pedophile catchers, right, that are on YouTube that actually work with police and actually get people arrested, right? The guy that got banned off Roblox and Roblox was trying to sue and saying all that shit, he had put many people actually behind bars.
I know some people do work with them, but you look at vigilantes, it's not really any legal authority. It's that, for definition, it's a member of self-appointed group of citizens or take law enforcement in their community without legal authority, typically because the legal agencies are thought to be inadequate. There's a lot of people that aren't actually legally doing stuff the way the cops would and all that. And even those people are being kicked off of Roblox because Roblox says want them on there. Not just the ones that
I mean,
are
they
doing
have
it
the right to do
legally
that.
with
They can
the
ban
police
anyone off
involvement.
their platform.
But that's causing a problem because they're banning the wrong people. They want to ban the vigilantes that are going after people that are going after the children instead of banning the people going after the children.
Yeah. Like you said, that's nothing new.
Yes, sir.
Everyone's known that about
Yes,
Roblox for
they're
fucking
trying
many years.
to get the predators off of there. But they're banning the wrong people. The people going after these predators to get them off Roblox, they're banning. Which, I can understand a little bit why, if the person's not doing it legally. But if they're doing it right, they're still getting banned. And that's what makes no sense to me. But now Roblox is winding up getting a bunch of problems now, and they are being sued. like California, Louisiana, Iowa, Michigan, Florida, Indiana, New Jersey, and Texas. I don't know how many more if there's anything else, but all these places are vying across the United States against Roblox. Because all different kinds of things, like California's 16-year-old girl made a predator on platform, and the predator's already on the FBI watch list. In Louisiana, there's lawsuits. Iowa says there's 13-year-old girl that is apparently kidnapped, trafficked, and raped because predator on there. 10-year-old in Michigan. Stuff like that. But people are trying to get these people off of there. But Roblox is winding up banning these people, trying to get them done. And that's the reason why all these places are suing Roblox, because they're banning these vigilantes trying to help Roblox. And they're just hurting themselves more. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I still play on Roblox. Even though, just like me, when I disagree on this, there are people saying that you're automatically a predator because you play on Roblox, and Roblox is protecting predators. Just like me, when I disagree on that saying. But yeah. I'm kind of afraid that Roblox is gonna go down just for the crap they're pulling. And I'm not gonna be able to play the fun games. And a lot of these people, like me and you, if me and you wind up going on Roblox, having people buy our game passes, we gain money from that. We're gonna be hurt.
You don't really get money for it.
You do to a point.
You get Roblox for it, and you have to get in a very big amount to be able to cash out. And you have to be a premium member, so you have to pay to be able to cash out. It is very scammy-like. Yes, there are. It is still very scammy-like.
Because Roblox is
it's still very scammy-like. That's like if you released a game on Steam and they're like, all right, and instead of paying you money, we're going to give you Steam money that you can buy Steam games with.
Robux could actually be transferred into
through a third-party site, not through Roblox, which you're also then paying them money for that conversion. Right? You are then losing money, right? Because they are taking a piece of that because they are paying you real money for your Roblox. It is a huge fucking scam. I hope they go down. I absolutely hope Roblox goes down.
I'm saying it's gonna hurt some people that are making a little bit of money, but because that's their only way of making money.
It's not their only way. It's just a way of making a game. You can make a game on Unreal Engine. You can make a game on Unity. You can make a game on RPG Maker. You can make a game on fucking 2D Game Maker.
There's a friend of mine that works on Roblox completely, nothing else, because that's what he knows how to do.
Yeah.
And he's making it where he had to buy the game through Roblox with the Robux before he could actually play the game. And that's going to hurt him because he's no longer going to be able to make money off Roblox if they go down. So, I don't know. I know there's more people that make way more money than what he does. He's only making like a few bucks here and there, but the big ones is going to hurt a lot more. But hopefully they have something that's bigger than just Roblox that's helping them. Now, some people only go on one thing and one thing only. But there are a lot of people that, if they're smart enough, would go on multiple things. It's like Satisfactory developers. They got Steam and Epic.
That has nothing to do with it. Because right there, I mean, because Factorio is made on an engine, right? That could be put on anything, right? They could not put it on anything and then only sell the game through their fucking website, right? Essentially, kind of like Roblox, right? It is just the game files. that they give to Steam that then Steam distributes to you. Right? That's what I'm saying. I don't know what Roblox uses. I don't know. I've never done it. Right? I don't know what their toolkit uses. If it's visual, if it's
I know that.
if it's visual programming, Unreal Engine has visual programming. Right? You don't have to do hard C++. You could do visual programming. Fucking.
You basically go through the Roblox studio to create the game, but now
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. I've never been there. I don't know what they use. I don't know if they're using C++. I don't know if they're using a visual programming language. Yeah. My best guess it would be a visual programming language, right? Like I said, Unreal Engine has a visual programming language. Fucking Game Maker has a visual programming language. Fucking RPG Game Maker has a visual programming language, right? Where it's not actual programming. I mean, it's still in a form of programming, right? But it's nodes, and it makes it much more simpler for a user to see, right? Someone who's not used to looking at code. Right? Writing actual code, you'll have to say if open bracket health less than 0 close bracket, then doing your actual lines of code within there, right? You would just have a get health inside of your visual programming, right? There'd just be like a node that would say get your current health, and then you could do like simple math with it and shit, right? Instead of looking at actual code. Visual programming is just to make it more simpler. It is also more limited, right? You can't do everything in visual like you could if you were actually coding it.
It's like Minecraft. I know the mods. It has a new thing with I think it's Open Studio. I think this thing's called. Kind of looks like a blue ribbon of some sort. But in that,
you mean Visual Studio?
You see like that. Yeah, the Visual Studio.
Yeah, it's called an IDE.
Actual words. But when you go into the Minecraft
Visual Studio is just an IDE. Visual Studio could be used for anything.
I'm saying Visual Studio, you can see it as if, thens, all that for the Minecraft mods when you're configuring the mod, but Minecraft itself, it's all a bunch of gibberish, like random letters, all one line. It's like, yeah.
Because it's put into one file and encrypted, right? That's what most games do. Games package files together, right? That's why you can have an update for a game. Your update for your game may only be like 5 megabytes, but then the install size is like 2 gigabytes. It's because it's updating 5 megabytes of data within a 2 gigabyte cluster of files.
Gotcha.
But Visual Studio is just an IDE, right? I use Visual Studio in Unreal Engine. You could use Visual Studio with fucking Unity, right? It's just an IDE.
Even though I don't know much about programming and all that, I know in Minecraft mods there's like you got stress levels and all that. You could easily configure different mods, like your sifter would use so much stress, but you change how much stress level it uses. I'll just change the numbers on that line to something else if I need to. But like creating my own code with that is like still in my head.
Yeah.
Whenever I say I know the basics, I mean I know basics like scratching the surface of the basics. I'm not saying scratch the surface of all coding basic to advanced. I'm talking about just basics. I'm still just scratching the surface of that.
Yeah.
Not making a dent in it.
Yeah, I know coding a little bit. I haven't coded for a long time. C++ is what I know really only. Just the coding though is if you know the basics of coding, you can code in any language. More just learning about that language's syntax, which is why I fucking hated Python. I fucking hate Python. That's such a dog shit ass language.
Oh, I've heard Minecraft. You can learn how to code in real life. Like you can learn Java coding through Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
there's
open
lots of
computers
games that will teach you how to
and
program.
computer craft mods are both mods that have computers. Computer craft, you just have the computer craft and craft table and place it down. Now, open computers, you got your case, you got your RAM, you got
Oh,
your
I thought you were talking
Wi-Fi,
about programming. I was
you
gonna
got
say,
all
there's
that.
plenty of
You can
games that
actually
teach you
build
how
a
to
PC
actually
in
program.
Minecraft. And then you got your operating system that you can install to your PC before you use it in Minecraft. Then you could code that way, just like your actual computer in real life. And even there, it's easy to learn in Minecraft, a lot easier than actually doing it on an actual computer. But even in Minecraft, the basics are the basics. Still, same way as you're saying with the if-then statements. Same exact way, but it still goes over my head. Like this way, one mod has a...
It's not if then, it's if else. It's the syntax for it. I mean, at least for C++, it's if else. You got.
It's if-then for like Java and stuff.
I didn't. I dropped out of my. I failed my Java. I was in Java and C++ at the same time, and it was so much fucking homework. I just stopped doing my Java homework and just focused on my C++.
There is the if-then there is if-else. Because else is not then. It's a if this, then do this. If you can't do the then do this for else.
No, that is an if statement. Right? You say if, right? Like I said, if player health equals 0, right? If you were going to say like the player dies, you would say if player's health equals 0, that you're checking, if that is a statement, then do this. If that's not the case, else do this. Right? Else stay alive. That is not then, right? It is if. That is the if statement. It's not if then, it is if. If player health equals 0, kill player. Else, keep player alive. In that statement, essentially, you wouldn't have an else, right? Because the else's do nothing, essentially. So you wouldn't put anything. It would just be if player health lesser or equal than 0, you die.
Then there's then statements to execute if true, else statements to execute if false.
Exactly.
And if.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If that's what I'm saying. It's not if it's not if then, it's if else, right? It's if this is true or this is true, right? If else. If this is true or else that is true.
Or is an example of a code right here saying if temperature is over 75, then turn on air conditioner, else turn off air conditioner, and if. That's what I was thinking, is that there is a if then else statement. So it's just
Let me see.
I'll actually share screen. See, it's like this. It's like you got your if then else statements.
Well,
if temperature is over 75, then turn off.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But it's if else, right? It's saying if that is true, then do what is within that confront, right? But it's not if then. It's if else, right? It's if this is true, else that is true. It's right. It's saying right that is the condition. It's saying if the temperature is greater than 75, right? That's the if statement. If the temperature is greater than 75, then turn on the air conditioner. Else, right? If that is false, turn off the air conditioner. And then right, you wouldn't put an end if, right? So here, like, here's how you would actually write that.
Well, actually, it shows that right here too. On like the whole thing, like right there, and it also has end if. But right here it shows different. the way you would do it in the actual terms. So I know kind of how you do it, but that's something I didn't know that's exactly the same thing as what I was talking about, though. Hey, Ray. I know you're still typing, but I can already see how you're supposed to do it right here. Because there's a picture saying end if, but it's showing the thing right here the same way. Also, you got 100% wrong on the way you're doing it. You said trun, not term.
Oh, I mean, either way, that wouldn't matter. That would be a variable, but yeah.
Yeah, it would whenever you're actually coding, but
no, if that is if that is the way you spelt the variable, it would not matter. Variables can be spelled. You could spell a variable, right? Your health variable could be named selfish dick if you wanted to, right? If selfish dick is less than 0, kill the character. A variable name is whatever you want to name it.
I forgot the whole variable thing. That's one thing I still get really confused about. That's one of the main things you gotta use is variables in Minecraft when it's like come to automating machines using the computer craft or open computers. But the whole variable statements is what throws me all off. Instead again just the basics, they always want to do the basics and the variable stuff too, which
variables is basics.
I see so more.
Basics are variables. I mean, variables are like the very, very basics, right? Like that's even more basic than an if statement, right? Your if statement is going to use a variable. A variable is the very beginning of programming. Everything is being basically pretty much used by a variable. Beginning programming is like variable, if-else statements, probably loops and functions, I would assume, is probably like the beginning of programming.
I had backwards then, yeah.
Variables are easy, right? It's just a number. A type of number, a type of data, essentially, right? Because if it's a Boolean, it's either true or false, or if it's a string, it's a word, right? You can make a string whatever you want. String, character name, right? A string is just a string of letters. And you got Boolean for true or false, and then all the other ones are just different, essentially, variables of numbers, right? Different, having a float if you want to have a decimal point, right? If you're not going to have a decimal point, there's no reason for that variable to be a float. You don't need that variable to be a float. You'd have it be an integer.
Okay. I'll be honest, still goes over my head too much when I didn't try to get into it, though. To be honest, that's one thing I want to try to learn, but I already don't think I can learn it too well. I think it's just one of those things that my mind's just not built for like I want it to be.
Yeah, there's just, you definitely need that. There's a lot of people I knew back in college that did not make it far in programming.
I'm about to get off here before my mind just goes completely haywire and fall asleep.
Alright.
Anyway, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow sometime.
Alright, man.
Have fun.
See you later.
Alright, later.
a lot of these AI trailers are. How many of them are just lifeless montages of all the characters being introduced one by one?
I'm Count Dracula, the proud owner of Hotel Transylvania. This is my darling daughter, Mavis.
Over here is Mr. Potato Head.
You can't forget about Stewie, my baby boy.
Let's not forget about Butters.
Have you ever seen a movie trailer like this? And if you did, would you want to watch that movie? My name is Tyler, and this is my Fight Club. Yeah, we may seem a little rough around the edges, but if you take the time to get to know us, you'll find we have hearts of gold. I love this Toy Story one that has Margot Robbie as Barbie.
She's not just a pretty face, no sir.
And Ryan Gosling as Ken. But instead of using any of the already existing footage of them as those characters, they made this. And I'm really sorry for making you look at that, but I had to pass the curse on to someone else. It was too much to bear on my own. Visually, these are hideous to look at. The scripts are so boring, they sound like a 5-year-old wrote them.
You might know me as the boy who lived, but trust me, I'm just Harry.
A lot of the sentences seem to just end in the middle.
Narcissa Malfoy. Where do I even begin? She's a member of one of the most influential wizarding families, the Malfoys. We've also got Draco Malfoy.
Where do I even begin? Well, she has a family. And Draco's crazy, too. This next one is also exactly the same. Star Wars Modern, which answers the question, what if they were still making Star Wars content? I can't even imagine what that would be like. I love this part about a minute in where the music has been slowly crescendoing as they show actor after actor, and right when it reaches its peak, this happens. They just continue showing names. This whole video is pretty much just 6 straight minutes of what if every celebrity was in this movie? And the comments are all like, you nailed it, man. Disney could learn a thing or two from you. Look, I certainly don't think Disney has done a good job with Star Wars. In fact, they've almost completely botched it. But do you think the only reason they don't cast all of the most famous people in the world to be in their movies is just because no one thought to do that? This movie would cost $4 billion to make. Also, superior storytelling. What story? This whole video was just a bunch of people standing still. You think that's a better story than what they're doing on Disney Plus? Actually, no, you're probably right about that. If Kenobi was just Ewan McGregor slowly rotating in front of the camera, now that would have been a good show. When I watch stuff like this and read the comments, I feel like I just don't understand anything anymore. I can't fathom how someone can watch a video that's just a vague collage of unrelated images with no plot, no through line, no anything, and be like, Hollywood's done for. Who needs real movies when I could just watch this all day? Guys, I hate to say it, but I'm starting to think some people might be stupid. Sorry, that's not fair to say. I don't think some people might be stupid. I know that a lot of people are stupid because this next video I'm about to show you has almost 30 million.
Wow.
It's called No One Could Hold Back Tears.
Q already did no fucking damage. You got nerfed even more. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ.
My mom passed away when we were crossing the river in a boat. She was my best friend. This song is for her.
They also did a few of these with Jesus.
Hello, my name is Jesus, Jesus Christ.
I was falling from the skies, the world a blur. Chaos all around.
Without the other.
So there are people on this earth who watch this video and think, how beautiful is that? Barbara, did you hear? Jesus himself took a trip down from heaven to appear as a contestant on the television show America's Got Talent, where he sang a song for 32 minutes. I really want to believe that in spite of corporations doing everything they can to circumvent artists and shove generative AI down our throats, that we as a human race would all band together to reject it because we're smarter than that. But then I see something like this and I'm like, are we? Are we smarter than that? Something happened earlier this month that I'm honestly still kind of shocked by. There's a YouTube channel called JCS Criminal Psychology that chances are you've watched at least one.
Oh my god, is he gonna attach me? We have 3 supports. Oh my god, why are there so many supports?
Provide insight into what's going on, some of which have gotten
That's so many supports.
Views. And I've always thought very highly of this channel. Not only do they make high quality videos that pioneered an entire genre on YouTube, but they've always been very deliberate about what they upload. I mean, they've only posted 20 21 videos in 5 years. Where so many YouTubers would have milked that formula dry, and a lot of their copycats have, JCS seemed to have the quality over quantity mindset, and I've always respected it. So imagine my surprise when earlier this month, after a 1.5-year long hiatus, JCS comes back with a video that immediately feels off. There's these weird animations they've never done before, the style of humor seems different, but most glaringly, there's something wrong with the narrator's voice.
Unlucky Josh, wrong answer. You just told on yourself in your own made-up story, and you're going to jail no matter what.
Why does he sound like that? I mean, it's the same voice, but it doesn't sound like a person. It sounds like AI. Sure enough, it is. And everyone fucking hated it. It's unwatchable. Turns out snarky quips don't work when the computer-generated narration is incapable of conveying snark. The best part is 43 minutes into the video, where the voice changes to a completely different one.
The other narrator will now be taking you through the second phase of his interrogation.
Just imagine being Josh right now. One moment you're in dreamland, and the next you're jolted back into interrogation room reality.
I guess his free trial ran out. I sat there in awe when I first I could not believe what I was seeing. This channel had about as high of an approval rating as you could have on YouTube, and just threw out years worth of goodwill so they could, what, save a few $100 on narration? Maybe he thought it wasn't that big of a deal because there's already so much AI slop on YouTube.
Bumbling through brush, my botanical escapade continues. Snagged on leaves, but hey, more crafting supplies. Jackpot.
Including in the true crime space. I mean, there's videos with hundreds of thousands of views that aren't just narrated by AI and written by AI and filled with AI-generated visuals, but the stories themselves aren't even fucking real. Secret affair between cheerleader and the coach ends in brutal murder. True crime documentary.
Beginning in the fall of 2013 at Brookhaven High School, Nathanella is a new basketball coach at Brookhaven High School. She was the star cheerleader of Brookhaven High School.
Even though this is fiction, it's a scenario that could easily play out in real life. Okay, then don't call it true crime. Call it what it really is. False crime. This is so fucking weird and gross that we're so obsessed with hearing about gruesome murder cases that we need a computer to make up new ones because we can't get enough. It already feels like a lot of these stories get trivialized because of the way people treat them like casual entertainment rather than something terrible that actually happened to a real person. So fuck it, I guess. Might as well have ChatGPT write the whole thing.
Rumors started circulating that Sergio Vega had been murdered.
Wonderful. The script is just so good, and the voiceover sounds very interesting.
But without a doubt, the most upsetting development on YouTube happened to my favorite channel, Talent's #1. This guy used to make the sickest videos. He would edit himself into America's Got Talent, and he'd have the whole audience freaking out as all these green screen video assets played on stage. It was the best thing I've ever seen. Now it's just a bunch of creepy AI nightmare fuel. Even the audience is booing, and he edited that himself. It's times like these where it's important to remind myself that there's a whole world outside the internet. Sometimes all you have to do to get away from the craziness is log out. Step outside, get some food. Oh, I'm so hungry. Let's see what's on Uber Eats. Looks really good. God, I just hope this restaurant is in a big windowless gray building. It is! I love living in the future. Happy New Year, everyone.
If you like this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe because that is the only way you can appreciate me for my work. It actually took me time to come up with this content and make it for you guys, so I would appreciate it if I get some love.
Everybody keeps saying, Drew, you can't restart your merch. You don't know how. You're too stupid. But guess what, loser? I figured it out. And now you can buy more shirts at DrewGoodStuff.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my braless wife bringing me a sandwich I didn't ask for. So I made a Twitch account in 2018 with the intention of streaming regularly. And in the 4 years since, I have streamed once. I keep telling myself I'll go back to it, but as with everything else in life, I remember it's just so much easier not to, so I don't. But today, that all changes, thanks to the help of one man, Tyler Ninja Blevin. If you don't know who Ninja is, he's sort of the Michael Jordan of having blue hair. If you do know who Ninja is, you probably expected me to say he's the Michael Jordan of Twitch streaming, but that would imply that he's one of the very best at it. don't know if that's... I think at this point there are tons of people doing an equal or better job of representing how fun and exciting Twitch can be. Ninja might just be the only streamer that, like, your grandma has heard of because she saw him on Ellen. Since there's such a large portion of the general population that had no idea what a Fortnite stream was when their kids told them it was their new favorite thing to watch, I think someone had to be anointed as, like, the face of it. And Ninja is a high-energy guy. He's very good at video games. He made himself super marketable, and he used to stream all the time, which made him constantly accessible. He was the right dude in the right moment, playing the right game, and to his credit, he totally embraced it. Not everyone in that position...
Bro, I'm ordering all these supports and it's keeping me so fucking alive right now, and I've got every kill on the team.
Everything that's offered to you, because you never know when you might end up unsuccessfully trying to cheer up a bunch of cold, wet New Yorkers by flossing like your life depends on it. I'm not seeing enough movement! As far as I can tell, Ninja is just a guy who got way more famous than he ever needed to be. And apart from his weird creator beefs and notoriously bizarre tweets, I don't really have too strong of an opinion about him at this point in my life. Anyway, all of that brings us up to a few months ago, March 2022. Ninja launches his exclusive masterclass. With years of clicking and yelling now under his belt, Tyler is finally ready to share the secrets that led him to the top for the low, low price of one annual membership to masterclass.com. For the record, this is a 1-month class, but in order to take it, you have to be subscribed to the website for an entire year, which will cost you $180. A small price to pay once you find out they have classes from both Clintons. So you already know the drill. I'm going to sign up for this class, and I'm going to regret it. Full disclosure, I signed up for this already. I'm filming this intro after the fact. Can someone...
Yeah, fucking both my items. Plus another 600 gold.
Watching him on 2 devices at the same time? What would that even accomplish for me? So anyway, I spent $240 on this class. Most people will choose to spend a little bit less. One of the first things he gives you at the start of the class is a PDF document with all sorts of gaming and streaming lingo. I cannot overstate how helpful this glossary is. There are some extremely advanced terms on here that would have thrown me for a loop had I heard them casually used throughout one of the courses. You know, things like keyboard, YouTube, mouse. Apparently that's the thing that you click with, but I don't know. I'm still new to this. The true beginning of this class is a section that has equipment for all different budgets, links on where to buy everything, and honestly, that's a pretty valuable resource to have all in one place. But I can't help but laugh whenever he says something like this.
You only need one monitor. If you can afford more than one, then that is definitely recommended. But if you can't afford 2 monitors...
If you can't afford a second monitor because I made you spend the cost of one on this class, then you know what? That's on me. That's my bad. Sorry about that. That's kind of the irony of this whole section.
I recommend that you spend a good amount of money on your gaming PC.
Relative to other hobbies, streaming can be very expensive to start out. Even the lowest end computer that he recommends is about $1,000, and you still have to buy a microphone, a webcam, a mouse, and keyboard, 2 things we just learned about earlier. He really tries to stress how every dollar is so important when you're starting out. So it's like, I don't know, maybe save 180 of them for equipment and then just watch an OBS YouTube tutorial for free. Speaking of which, I love this line.
It's plug and play for a reason. It may seem a little scary, but it's not. There's tutorials everywhere on the internet.
Ninja, I don't know if you know this. You're filming a tutorial. Don't outsource the work to someone else. Just tell me how to do these things while I'm here in the class that you're teaching.
In this second clip, you will already immediately see the evolution of my streaming personality.
What's going on, guys?
It's so funny to hear him describe the things that he does well in like an analytical way.
Okay, here we go. See, now it's okay. We're on a good lead.
You can see I'm wearing my hat. I'm clearly doing a funny voice.
And obviously you probably noticed as well that I will often make silly faces. So sometimes I'll do one of these, you know, or maybe I'll hit him with one of these. And that's just one of those funny ass things you can do.
And, you know, of course it's entertaining to watch.
This makes me laugh.
and laugh so hard. This next clip I'm going to show you is kind of me evolving a little bit as a content creator. Hello, everybody. What do you guys notice that has changed? My background has changed. I had a better chair.
Okay, so evolving as a creator means buying a more expensive chair.
My light setup was totally different, way more appealing.
All right, well, I thought maybe he was going to talk a little bit more about like evolving your personality, but it seems like his advice is just to, you know, spend more money on the wall behind you. Hey, he's the master, and this is his class.
Things in the background more appealing. You know, you have the gaming fridge, of course, with the energy drinks in there. That's always fun to look at.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun looking at that fridge.
Hey man, we're gonna go wear suits to the new Minions movie. You trying to come?
No can do, big guy. I have got my day filled.
Oh wow. That fridge is really fun to look at.
I know.
In the very first one, it was just my full screen webcam. The next one, I was reacting to a clip that I had, and you know, I was wearing a hat.
All right, there we go. If you want to get better at streaming, put on a hat. You know, that's probably why my friend Chris is so good at streaming. That dude has so many hats.
My headphones were upgraded. The my hair was blue.
Now we're getting somewhere. These are actionable steps. Wear a funny hat and dye your hair. If you're like me and you're not exactly sure why that matters so much, he does actually have some pretty insightful commentary about it.
People really wanted me to always have my hair blue, and it just became a part of my brand. There are a couple of categories.
Oh, okay. I guess that's absolutely great editing there. Gotta love the cut right as he's opening his mouth to say more. I couldn't believe, actually, how many times he mentions his blue hair in this class.
Okay, so we have Ninja blue hair, right? I dyed my hair blue, and everyone thought, okay, now blue-haired person, me dyeing my hair blue, and my hair was blue.
It's almost like he's convinced himself that one of the secrets to his success is that he dyed his hair a funny color. Well, since it seems to be such an integral part of his brand, maybe we should check in on a stream now and see how it looks.
Listen, just know that I will set my alarm at 5 a.m. so I can see all of your guys' morning wood. Yeah.
I forgot to look at his hair. I think most people's experience with this class will be that it's very front-loaded with content. He's got a little over an hour about the basics of what you need to just hit the go live button. And then the next section is 23 minutes long. He starts flying through these short lessons that are like, practice the game that you like. And also don't stream too much, but don't not stream too much.
Good luck.
He even spends 2 of these very crucial minutes just rambling on about one specific Dead by Daylight trick he saw once, and it's like, dude, could you have written something down for this?
It's called like a 360.
Why does it seem like half the class is him going, oh shit, what else?
And then you just do it.
No scopes. No scopes are cool. So, you know, you could do one of those. Before you even have time to process anything that he said in section 2, we're already breezing right into section 3, which is less than 23 minutes long. It's so visually short at first glance that they had to pad it out by copying and pasting 2 lessons from the previous section. Share your streams with the community and engage with each other. And now, do it again.
Listen to your chat. The next time they come in, if they say something about their dog, maybe their dog isn't feeling well, and they come in the next day and you're just like, hey Jack, what's up buddy? How's your dog, man? You probably just secured that viewer for life.
Ask people if their dog is sick. He's got a section about how to deal with trolls, which is definitely something to be wary of if you're gonna be doing anything in a live setting. I love that this is the only example of an insult that he could come up with on the spot.
Like, if someone says, hey Ninja, your hair is looking really blue today, kind of weird, I'd be like, yeah, that is kind of weird.
Dude had one thing on his mind that day.
Blue hair.
I really liked when he went on this long explanation of how to ban people and specifically described each and everything to do, but they never showed his screen. I mean, you can kind of see it in this shot, but it's a little blurry. Oh, here, now they're gonna show.
So this user, I'm going to demonstrate how to ban and unban them. It is literally as simple as pressing 2 buttons. So you have their username, you click ban,
Ninja,
and you simply just unban.
I can't see what you're doing, buddy. This happens multiple times. It kind of makes me think that they just forgot to record his screen while he was doing this section, and instead of attempting to recreate that B-roll, they just gave gave up and put nothing there. It's so bad. That's not even Tyler's fault, you know, but it does show a general lack of caring from everyone involved. There are times where the crew is either pranking Tyler with the editing or they just don't give a shit. This is a real clip from the master class.
Takis, gaming is intense, but Takis are seriously intense. And
That's not the original commercial. He doesn't shit and fart in the actual ad.
Call out your regulars and loyal viewers. They'll keep coming back. What up, this? How you doing, bro? I think the tier 1 sub.
Make sure to always talk to your chat. After all, they're your friends. Welcome back, Dick Lord. Thanks for the 6 months. How's your dog doing, by the way? You don't have a then get one so I can talk to you.
you now have a lot of pressure on you to set good examples. It is going to be up to you to instill good morals, or the morals that you have, into your audience. You know, not promote harassment and not promote, you know, being negative.
You're trash. You're awful. You're so stupid.
You know, and just when I thought some of his advice was starting to dip in quality, he drops this banger.
I have a Fortnite skin. It is no surprise that the best titles can grab potential viewers who are scrolling through channels.
Yeah, so, you know, if you want to get a lot of views on a video, just get Fortnite to make you a skin and put you in the item shop. And then just tell people about it. Guaranteed millions of views, dude, and it works every time. You gotta try it. Actually, a lot of the final section of this class is about these, like, completely unattainable things you could do to get bigger.
I always express my personality in gaming, but wanted to break out and do other forms of media and entertainment to expand my audience.
Welcome to the Daily Show. Thank you for having me.
Don't just be a streamer, go on TV.
I wanted to be known in Hollywood, so I went on shows like Ellen and The Tonight Show and The Masked Singer, and was eventually cast in movies like Free Guy.
Come on, get your name out there. Be in a movie. I know it sounds crazy, but it makes a big difference.
Collaborations are a great way to get more people to your stream, and it's very exciting for your viewers.
And of course, you gotta play Fortnite with Drake. You may think, I don't need to do that, but don't underestimate how big that could be for your career.
Starting out, you might not get to game with a celebrity.
But Ninja, you just said I could. Where he could have at least stuck the landing a little bit with some solid marketing tips. The branding section at the end just annoyed me because of how unspecific everything is. It's basically just a long list of Tyler's accomplishments, most of which you're probably already aware of if you spent $200 to take a ninja class. He continually stresses the importance of branding, which I agree with, but doesn't give you any tangible steps on how to do it. And I don't expect this class to suddenly transition into a graphic design lesson, but you know, if this is Masterclass's definitive how to stream course, they could at least go into some detail about the basic stream assets that you need to make. Your subscriber emotes, your channel banner, your alerts, the screen that says starting soon or be right back, you know, all those things you can put in to make your stream unique to you. He barely even mentions any of those things. He's kind of just like, look at my logo. Isn't it a cool logo? Joke's on you. It's not even my fucking logo. I made a worse one. Also, why even include a section about brand deals? This is a 30-day class. No one starting a stream from scratch is worried about doing a brand deal before they've even streamed for a month.
This is something that's going to be online forever, and hopefully teaching people how to become amazing professional streamers for decades, for a millennia to come.
Yeah, dude. 1,000 years from now. 1,000 years from now, people are still going to be watching this class.
Voila.
I think that a good portion of the beginning of this course is helpful to someone who wants to start streaming and they have no idea what to do. But it is very clear to me that not nearly enough care or attention was put into this for it to be worthy of the call. Also, like, I don't think Ninja is just this undeniably affable guy. He's just really fucking good at Fortnite. And you can't teach someone to be as good as he is. You especially can't teach someone to be really good at a brand new game and be better than everyone else at it before they've all caught up to you. Because that was kind of the initial wave of the early days of Fortnite for him. So to be someone who already has a net worth of like $50 million, and then you charge all your most hardcore fans off the promise that maybe they'll be famous like you, it's bullshit, man. This sucks. What I did genuinely enjoy the most about this was the community aspect aspect of it. Like I said, there's a point where Ninja kind of puts the burden on you to support each other's stream, but for the most part, people did. And that's cool because it's pretty easy to get selfish when you're starting something and you're like, you know what? That's great. I see that you're streaming. I love that for you. But could someone...
Everyone's getting a fucking honor.
So
Swain's
it's
getting
cool
it
to
by
see people
proxy.
Go out of their way to compliment someone's setup or answer a question that someone had. But it's funny to me that potentially the most valuable part of the class is the one part that Ninja has no involvement in. There's so many cool people taking this class with all different kinds of content. I saw a Lego building stream. I saw a couple that streams at Disneyland. But my favorite
Everyone did but the fucking Milo.
Plushy Orca.
If we don't get this dub, I'll eat a spoonful of mayonnaise. No spoonful of mayonnaise for me.
Tell me that that's not the most badass clip you've ever seen. To their credit, the class does have its own TA that goes around, you know, interacting with people's posts, but it's never anything super specific to that person.
What's your favorite piece of decor? What's your favorite conversation piece? What's your favorite piece or prop? Are you working on building connections in other communities? Are you working on building connections in other communities?
Tom,
are you building connections? Let's go. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else?
And before you ask, the TA is not Ninja himself. Not that I would expect him to be, although it would be really funny if he was commenting on these in third person. No, the TA is a mysterious and unknown entity. One who's really only there to make the community section seem more valuable than it actually is. The one silver lining with this course, if you spent almost $200 and you got to this point and you're like, that's it? Is that you're still able to watch a shit ton of content on Masterclass. It's just a matter of whether that's something that actually has value to you, because it might not. You might have noticed Marquez Brownlee just launched his own course about video creating and posting, and I feel like this class is just so much beefier than the one I just watched. He has a 21-minute video entirely dedicated to lenses. If you've ever watched his content, you know that he's extremely tech savvy, and he also has a much more natural teaching cadence with the way he lays out information. Whereas Tyler, I assume, was just riffing things off the top of his head, which is probably why he constantly trailed off into silence.
Streaming just gave me the platform to, and I think that's how, you know, but I mean, my recommendation is,
but you know what? It's not fair of me to just sit here and criticize Ninja without taking his tips and tricks into the real world. So for the next 3 weeks, I will be following his advice to a T as I create my own Twitch channel and try to build it from the ground up with no promotion whatsoever. Obviously, I don't want this Twitch account to link back to me in any way. If someone finds my channel, I want it to be entirely organic. So I'm going to try to create a persona that's both generic and yet still true to my own brand. I can't believe that name wasn't already taken. After some light branding and a little bit of finagling on OBS, I hit start on my very first stream ever. And I forgot to enable VODs beforehand, so there is no record of it. And of course I had one of the most insane Fortnite wins I've ever had. I somehow escaped so many near-death experiences and made it all the way to the end, and then I won because the last player left just died. I didn't shoot him, I didn't see him, he must have just walked into the storm, I guess, because I won without doing anything. And you can't even see my reaction to it. Once I realized that I had nothing important to do for the rest of the day until my wife came home in a couple hours, I went live for another first stream. This time I had old school RuneScape open while I spent 8 minutes trying to figure out how to get a chat overlay on stream. If you're wondering, I learned how to do that from a free YouTube video, not the class that I paid for. But right as I was settled in and satisfied with my work, the unexpected happened. Someone showed up. The possibility of this happening was so minuscule in my mind that I was not prepared for this at all. I actually almost panicked and ended stream.
What if I panicked and ended stream?
But I stayed on for a few minutes and had a short conversation with her. She told me she plays RuneScape too and was literally just scrolling through. I actually almost panicked.
216 mil is Banks worth,
What
huh?
if I panicked and ended stream? But I stayed on for a few minutes and had a short conversation with her. She told me she plays RuneScape 2 and was literally just scrolling through the OSRS tab on Twitch, and she clicked on my stream because my name was Scoliosis King. So 1 point for my awesome branding. What a great day. But obviously I still wasn't satisfied, so before my third stream, I did a little bit of work to make the viewer experience better. I put the Finding Nemo DVD menu on the TV in this stock photo I found. I made a couple playlists for different moods I might find myself in, and then I started stream with my microphone off for 2 minutes. You know, and that's the thing about going live in front of 0 viewers. There's no stakes, no pressure, no one to tell you that your audio levels are terrible. Oopsies. For stream number 4, I made sure to test the audio levels beforehand, so that was good to go. And then I put on a hat. I guess you could say I was learning. Even though no one technically watched the stream or, you know, even tuned in at any point, I felt good about my growth as a streamer. I was kicking ass in the game. No spoonful of mayonnaise for me. I was being relatable. Y'all ever drink water before? I felt like if I just stuck to it, things would turn around eventually. And then my next stream took all the wind out of my sails. It was a combination of things. I was doing one of my least favorite Slayer tasks in RuneScape, a game I've already been getting kind of bored of lately. I am bored of this game. I was really tired that day, and the repetitiveness of what I was doing certainly didn't help. When there's no one there to bounce energy off of, it's really hard to maintain energy, and you feel like you should the whole time just in case someone pops in and you have like 2 seconds to lure them in, and you never know when it's gonna be, so you have to always be ready. Thank you so much to everybody who watched today, which from the looks of it was nobody. But even at this point, I tried to stay optimistic.
The game's back in full screen. Why? Why is it back in full
I thought I had a pretty
screen?
funny idea for the alert that would play whenever I got a new follower or subscriber. The thing is, like, that doesn't matter if no one's
Why does this
doing
game
either of
like
those
to
things.
fucking
So I
revert
took
back to
matters
full
into my
screen? I
own
don't
hands
understand.
By blowing the dust off the Stream Deck that I bought in 2020 and never opened. With this device, I could repurpose all of the sound effects I've saved on my computer over the years, including this fart compilation that I forgot was over a minute long. For my 7th attempt, I put everything that I had learned thus far together and had what I think was my best stream yet. Thanks for jumping out of the bush so I could see where you were, dude. I was energetic. I was being a little goofball.
Just being a goofball.
I was making wacky faces left and right, just like the master himself. But yet again, I looked over and no one was there to watch. It was frustrating to feel like I was finally starting to hit my stride creatively, but it wasn't making a difference because no one was finding my stream. At this point, I had utilized just about every tip that Ninja had given me, and then some. And still, it wasn't working. I knew that something drastic had to change, but what? My crazy hair, like crazy blue hair.
Blue-haired person. My recommendation is dyeing my hair blue.
I probably could have just bought a wig.
Too late. Didn't think about that in time. So at this point, you're probably wondering, Drew, did you really spend 4 hours in a hair salon just because Ninja mentioned his hair a few times? And also, did you have to download Instacart this week because you're too embarrassed to go to the grocery store? Yes to both. But the reason I dyed my hair is because I had something crazy in mind for the culmination of my journey. I was going to do a 24-hour stream. This was a big leap for me. Up until this point, I had only streamed for like an hour or 2 at a time just to dip my toes in the pool. And now I was going to jump upside down into the ocean. So with my wife away for the weekend and my hair the color of toothpaste, around 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, I began what I assumed would be the most successful night of my Twitch career. I was wrong.
No, just
I
needed
got
one
off to
more
a pretty
auto, I
hot
think.
Start, honestly, I was feeling good. Turns out the beginning of a 24-hour stream is the same as a regular.
I thought
stream, because
Thresh
you
was
have
gonna
it
hook me and I
24
fucking
hours.
wasted my
Really, this
flash.
Is no different than what I normally do. I'm just
His
playing
hook
the
had to
video
have been up. He had not
game.
used it in a
No
long
one's
time.
watching me. I'm talking out loud to myself. Well, I shouldn't say no one is watching. There was a point early on where a spam bot came in and advertised something. Sure would be great if they showed Ninja's screen during that lesson on how to ban someone from your chat. Then I would know how to do it. It was several hours before any real person joined. It was my follower, Samantha. She didn't like my hair.
Fucking slow ass attack speed.
Now before
Wasn't
all
ready
this,
to
I
attack
had
again
recently
yet.
begun a pretty regimented meal plan, and I didn't want to lose all my progress.
I haven't any
just
attack
because of
speed
this
yet,
video.
really.
So I made sure to use sound alerts to build reminders into the stream.
Oatmeal time! It's time to eat some oatmeal and suck my own dick!
A fun surprise happened about 3.5 hours into the stream. A new viewer showed up.
I got a new person. Welcome in. I've streamed so many times. I've only had one chatter.
I was confused by his message, though. He said 24 hours? Really? Like he doesn't believe that I could do it. You don't know anything about me, dude. You don't know what kind of resolve I have. Then he told me that I look really bored and that I should chew on something.
You know, it's not my fault that I have resting bored face.
Because my face does this. That was his final message in the chat. He never came back. When 4 o'clock rolled around, it was time for my yogurt.
It's yogurt time! I'm talking Oikos 000. I hope it sends me to hell.
And it was around this time when the cracks were starting to form. The regret that I felt from blowing it with Chucky earlier was really sending me on a downward spiral. I started listening to Doodle Bop songs. I took multiple Doodle Bop quizzes. I found out I was Rooney. 6 hours in,
Shit
I
for
made
AP
me
aside
as
from
Ninja
Acel.
on The Sim.
Yeah,
And I
just build
designed
this
him
first.
A beautiful house with no privacy except for one curtain by the kitchen toilet. He also had a basement stream room filled with trees and portraits of faraway landscapes, places he couldn't go to because he was on house arrest for tax evasion. I forgot that I accidentally made him really mean, though, so every time he tried to talk to someone, it would turn contentious immediately. The only thing he ever wanted to do with them was get into a fist fight. I figured he was just lonely and didn't know how to express himself, so I put in an online order of a cat. A guy from the adoption agency brought him out to me, and I got him confused with a different cat that I spent the next 2 hours talking to. So the guy took the cat that I was supposed to adopt, and the cat that I was talking to walked off my lot, and I never saw him again. So that was when I stopped playing The Sim. A third of the way there, my one follower Samantha suggested GeoGuessr, and this was perfect for the state of mind that I was in. A few weeks ago, I was watching this guy Banthany refuse to end his stream until he hit a state streak on GeoGuessr of 100. It ended up taking him 150 hours to do it, but when he finally did, it was one of the greatest moments I've ever seen on Twitch.
I can't look! I can't look! I can't look! I can't look! Yes! 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 Yes!
Not to brag or anything, but I'm pretty good at GeoGuessr too. My state streak is 5. At this point, my focus was solely on marching forward. No one else had popped in at all.
How did I not get that kill?
2 hours out of Roller Coaster Tycoon. I even beat one of the hardest scenarios in the game without breaking a sweat. I am a gamer god. Why is no one here to appreciate it? Around 4 a.m., I was starting to get a little tired. So I began a new playthrough of Wolfenstein 2 on the hardest difficulty.
This is how you go down, Nazi.
All things considered, went all right for a bit, until I hit what proved to be an impenetrable wall. So I mumbled something incoherent, exited out of the game, and went on a short break of 3 hours and 42 minutes.
I didn't go to sleep, and I don't want to go back to sleep, I don't want to go to sleep for the first time.
I guess I thought about it, and I was like, no one even knows that I'm here. If I go to sleep right now, it's not like anyone will say, Drew, hey, buddy, wake up. You gotta finish your stream.
they wouldn't say anything because no one even knows that I'm doing it. As I drifted off to sleep on my couch that's not quite long enough to hold a human-sized man, I started to have crazy dreams. The viewer count was climbing fast. 100, 1,000, 10,000 people all here to cheer me on and say pog and whatever KEKW means. I got to show them the game I invented that had a perfect score on Metacritic. It was Harry Potter themed. I don't know how I got the rights to that. Everybody applauded my effort and congratulated me on a job well done. And then 3 hours later, I woke up and no one was there. Obviously. If people weren't joining the stream before, they weren't gonna pop in now and wait an indefinite amount of time for me to return from my hiatus. At this point, the stream was just a Spotify playlist gone rogue and my Be Right Back screen that I was probably using a little inaccurately. But I went and grabbed my cold brew from yesterday out of the fridge and popped on some GeoGuessr while I slowly woke myself up.
Oh no. It transported me back to the past. Gotta find Doc.
Even in this mental state, I managed to reach a new record-breaking state streak. That's right, 6. Time was melting away, and as the sun moved further and further towards the center of the sky, I knew that the prison sentence I had forced upon myself would soon be complete. With about 90 minutes left of stream, I decided that I would get a Fortnite dub right as time expired. A lofty goal, I know, but I was up for the challenge. Just kidding. This is some of the worst Fortnite I've ever played in my life. Turns out video games are way harder when your brain doesn't work. With a little under 30 minutes left, my boy Eddie popped in, and it was a glorious moment. 4 years ago, my Twitch career began alongside him, and even though I followed that up with roughly a 1,500-day break, it felt so poetic to be right back where I started. And during our second of 2 games together, he died because he went to ping an enemy and his controller made him take a selfie. But not even yet another quick loss could bring me down at this point. I was so close to being done. Who gives a shit? Fuck this stupid game. When it was time to get my dub right as the clock hit 24, I realized that wasn't going to happen, so instead I jumped off a cliff and lived. The stream is over. I never have to do this again. I'm never going to do this again.
No, you kidding me?
I streamed for about 40 hours on this account, and during that time, roughly 25 people came in at different points, but almost none of them stayed for more than a few seconds. 3 people actually typed a message in the chat, but one of them was a boss. After spending $150 to dye my hair and delivering 24 straight hours of high-octane content, except when I fell asleep, I grew all the way from 1 follower to 1. Well, I still have 1 follower. Big shout out to Samantha. You were there from the beginning. You were the only one there at any point. So even though things didn't exactly work out for me, I don't think Ninja's class is entirely useless. He taught me how to set up OBS. Everything else, like all of the specific overlays I wanted to do, using the Stream Deck for sound effects and scene changes, I fucking Googled all that. And it was free! There are a handful of people on Masterclass who don't speak much publicly, so if you're like a massive fan of them, it would probably be worth it to hear Mariah Carey, for instance, talk about singing. I'm not trying to learn how to sing, but it'd probably be pretty cool to hear her talk about it, you know? But even if you are the world's biggest Ninja fan, I promise you, you have not run out of Ninja content to watch. He's probably streaming right now. And if you want to learn how he streams, pay attention to what he does and take notes. That's it. He's good at his job. He's been doing this for a long time. I think an aspiring streamer could learn a lot just from watching him. But you don't need to pay him $180 to tell you, you know, sometimes I talk in a funny voice. Out of all the jobs on Masterclass, his is the most publicly available. Like, I can't just walk into a kitchen and look over a chef's shoulder to see how they made something. I don't know the process of writing poetry just because I read a finished poem. I don't know what goes into getting a series picked up just because I watched the show. There are plenty of classes on here where that kind of inside look is something that's unique and valuable. But Ninja is showing you how to do his job every time he does his job. Because that's part of the job. You can't stream if you're not showing people. I lost my mind. My hair is blue and I lost my mind. I'm gonna take a walk. Babe.
There's a guy in our kitchen? Don't worry, it's just me. And I'm here to cook today's sponsor, HelloFresh. Having food delivered straight to your door is one of life's greatest luxuries, especially when your hair glows in the dark. Here's the thing, if I'm not looking in a mirror, I forget about this. I can't see the top of my head from this angle, so I forget that I look like if a cupcake came to life. I had a neon billboard painted onto my scalp demanding that everybody stare at me, and I don't like to be perceived. So HelloFresh is good for that. The reason I've been subscribed to HelloFresh for years before this, though, is because of how much structure it adds to my life. When left to my own devices, I will often eat the worst and possibly most expensive food I can imagine because I waited too long to plan a meal and now I'm too hungry to think clearly. But every day that I have one of these bags in my fridge, I don't have to resort to that. My brain can stay on Dumbo mode and I can still have a fun and tasty meal. There's so much variety on their menu and they're constantly adding new stuff. I'm talking meatballs, fish, burgers, chickpea fritters, buffalo pork chops. They've got a bunch of vegetarian and kid-friendly meals. They've got lunches you can make in 10 minutes, dinners you can make in 20, and they even have little cheesecakes. Anything you could possibly be in the mood for, they probably have it. And not only does HelloFresh help me save time grocery shopping, it also helps me cut down on food waste. Their supply chain is more streamlined compared to traditional grocery shopping, which helps reduce greenhouse gas emissions, according to a University of Michigan study. And on top of that, I'm about to save you so much freaking money. If you go to HelloFresh.com and use my promo code I'mALittleStinker16, you can get up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Surprise, I'm in the box. Imagine. No, I don't actually know what the surprises are. They won't tell me. They said I haven't earned their trust yet. Again, that's code I'mALittleStinker16, link in description. Hey, so does like anyone know when blue hair goes away, or? Don't get me wrong, I love it. It looks so good, and it suits me really well. But I keep turning all the pillows in my house blue, and I'd like to not do that anymore. So I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna go follow the Scoliosis King account on Twitch, and that's great. I appreciate it. I'm never gonna stream on there though. If I do ever stream on Twitch in the future, just follow me at Drew is Good, and I'll put the link in the description. There's people I've been subscribed to for like 3 or 4 years now, and I'd like to keep that streak on there, so I'm not gonna make a new account and lose all that. To all the people watching this video 1,000 years from now, hello, I'm dead. I probably died 940 years ago, I don't know. But if you are watching this in the year 3022, comment down below what life is like. Is Florida underwater? Who's the president? Is The Simpsons still on? To everyone else, I will see you in the next video that I make, where I will be spinning around the whole time until we all get dizzy. So, see you then. It's yogurt time! I'm talking Oikos 000. I hope it sends me to hell. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., the greatest quarterback of all time. He's won 7 Super Bowls, set almost every imaginable passing record, and has made probably over $1 million or something like that. But what I find truly interesting about Tom's story is that he isn't that special of an athlete. It's not like he can throw the ball further than anyone else, and he's probably the slowest player on every team he's ever been on. Giannis Antetokounmpo is superhuman. JJ Watt looks like if a muscle came to life and started talking. But on the surface, Tom just kind of looks like a guy. In fact, he's so unassuming as an athlete that almost 200 people were picked ahead of him the year he was drafted. And he played longer than every single one of them. In many ways, he got better as he got older. His face changed shape like 6 times. Everything he's doing defies all logic. So what the hell is his secret? Is he a cyborg? A time traveler? Was he an experiment created in some kind of football laboratory? Or is all of his success attributed to his famously specific diet? This dude hasn't had sugar in like 14 years. No wonder he's able to pull off the impossible. I had a toaster strudel for breakfast and now my tummy hurts. But why am I making this video? Well, because a few days ago on February 1st, Tom Brady finally retired from the NFL, which means someone has to take his place. And that's where I come in. Slightly above average height? Check. Total underdog story? Check. Lives within reasonable driving distance of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers practice facility? Check. And just like Tom, everything I do for my son. My son is 4 inches tall, he lives in this box, and as of 1 minute ago, he's now available for purchase for a limited time at youtooz.com. But if I'm gonna become the new starting quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'll need to eat like Tom. I'll need to train like Tom. At least for about a month. That should do it. So starting on February 14th, the day after the Super Bowl, because I'm probably gonna eat a lot of crap that night, I will begin my transformation. But first, I have to prepare. Like a lot of mega popular athletes do, Sweet Thomas has very much turned his identity into a brand. It's called the TB12 method. He has 2 books about it, he has his own recipes, his own workout gear, and supplements, and tests, and podcasts, and training centers, and Vital Fit Tart Cherry. Congrats, Tom! While this chapter is closing, the best is yet to come. You know, I hate to say it, but I don't think that's true. Some people just peak early in life. There's nothing wrong with that. You think anyone's gonna give a shit about me in 20 years? Hell no. I gotta savor this while I can. So this says get started, but then there's so much shit here that I don't even know where to begin. Oh wait, yeah I do. I'm getting the Big Tom. Tom Brady drinks 200 to 300 ounces of water on active days. Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm gonna have to get a second bladder surgically inserted into my body if I drink this much water. Oh, here we go. They have starter packs. Here's what people are saying. But it's not customer testimony, it's just their employees. No biases here. Guys, people have been raving about my YouTube videos. Don't believe me? Just ask my mom. You know, I am actually wondering what Brian thinks.
Hey everyone, Brian Hart here, body coach down in Tampa Bay. By far my favorite product that TB12 has is the TB12 electrolytes. Helps me stay hydrated, gives me energy, prevents muscle cramping, tastes great.
Does it? I saw that eye roll. Believe me, this stuff is awesome.
TB12 plant-based protein,
right.
TB12 omega,
okay.
One of the products that I really have loved recently.
Fucking gross, dude.
And I don't really struggle to sleep or go to sleep.
This stuff is amazing. I don't need it, and I've never actually taken it before, but Tom said I had to throw in a portion, so I just picked one random.
I wake up every morning feeling awesome. That's when I take that TB12 sleep.
Yeah, I can tell. You're like a ball of energy.
Feel free to go to tb12sports.com.
What a coincidence. That's a website I was already on. Oh, I guess I should probably just get the Tom pack. Sorry, Brian. In his honor, I will at least get his favorite flavor of electrolytes, and I will think about you every time I drink them. Okay, so it's $200, and that's just the first page. Gonna be another $216 just for the equipment. That at least seems more reasonable. What was the other one? Vitamins and protein powder, and I'm supposed to buy that every month? Well, it's a good thing I'm only doing this for one. Oh, you have to subscribe to it? But what if I don't want to? Why is it $600? I got the Tom pack, the starter home gym pack should be $425, and it is $600. What the fuck, Tom? I mean, yeah, I have the water bottle in here too, but that's only $65. Oh, I see. Once you go to check out, they sneakily raise the price of the exercise equipment by $111. That's cool. No, I get it. I would do the same thing if I was the worst. You know what though? I have to suck it up. I'm trying to change my life here. I want to live to be 300 years old, and you can't put a price on that. So I guess I'm already out $600, and I haven't even bought any food yet. It's funny, I've always heard the main criticism of the TB12 brand is that it's overly expensive and inaccessible to the average person, but I actually think we're off to a great start. Oh my god, I still have to buy the book. I almost forgot. They're sold out on the website, so I have to settle for an acceptable used copy from Amazon. Would I like to spend half of that on a new copy? Of course I would, but then I won't get it for a month, and I'm trying to start this diet. What are you gonna do? Before I forget, I should also go ahead and cancel my subscriptions while I'm here. Luckily, they've made it as difficult as possible by making you do one at a time. Hello. My first impression when I saw this in front of my door was that this box is way bigger than I thought it would be, and then I remembered I bought the Big Tom. So I'm picturing that that's pretty much taking up most of the space. It's just like a giant fat water bottle, and then everything else is forgot my box cutter. I'll be right back.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? You fucking autoed.
There's the Big Tom.
There it is. Wow, these are fancy. Glass jars. Everything's kind of dusty, which is fun. Oh.
I mean, get the assist on the fucking LeBlanc that I damn near killed that someone else finished. You love to see it.
I got my electrolyte, my vibrating pliabilities. So that's all the stuff that I put in my body. Now for what I put my body on top of. To be honest, I kind of blindly just bought the starter kit. I didn't really look at what was in it. I just assumed, you know, this is good.
Holy
for
fuck, dude.
But I did end up doubling up on water bottles, and I don't know what anything else is. Don't know why they gave me a little bag. I mean, clearly that's not big enough to put all this stuff in. I got a vibrating pliability sphere and also a vibrating pliability roll. Lots of different shapes in which I can vibrate. This is just like a phone stand that they threw in here. Don't know what I was expecting. It's gonna be a journey figuring out what to do with all this crap. So we got some pills to pop here. Thanks, Tom, for that. We've got sleep, which is pretty self-explanatory. I'll try this one, but I'm probably not gonna take this every night because I don't like melatonin. It makes me feel weird and gives me really crazy dreams, and I don't want that. But then you've got the other two. This one is like brain pill, daily support for mind-body performance, and then the other one is for like joint support. But this is one I'm really intrigued by. For like a year, I used to take something called Alpha Brain, and I'm pretty sure it was just a placebo, but I would take it every time I filmed or wrote anything. And I felt like it helped, like I could think more clearly, but again, it might have just been I told myself that I would be more focused, and then I was more focused. So who's to say? But this shit was personally engineered by the greatest quarterback of all time. And if anyone knows something about brain performance, it's
fucking course.
I didn't really. Whoa! What's going on? I have so many thoughts. I think I'm finally using 100% of my brain, just like Bradley Cooper.
Holy, you're kidding me.
Oh my God. Ideas. I can't stop them. Hey, sorry to bother you. I know you're at work right now, but I had to call you. I just thought of a new invention. Silent ice. It's just like regular ice, but it doesn't make any noise. I did it. I finally finished my book. Wow. What a productive day. I even managed to move my couch into the middle of the room like I've been meaning to. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and hit the hay. Never mind. It has been 4 minutes. I don't really know what to say about the supplements because I've taken them a bunch now and I kind of feel the same. But I've also been taking multivitamins every day for several years and those don't make me feel any different. So does that mean I should stop taking them? It's hard to judge something that is supposed to have this like silent effect on your body. So they may not actually do anything, but at least they're very expensive. The best thing about them though is that they don't taste like anything because you're also supposed to drink these electrolytes every day, multiple times a day, first thing you do when you wake up. I excitedly tried the lemon one first, and let me just tell you, it is one of the grossest things I've ever tasted in my life. It tastes great. It doesn't taste so much like lemonade as it does lemon pledge. I did actually just notice today that they also sent me the same thing but in packet form. So I'm pretty sure there's like a powder instead of something that's already a liquid. Maybe that'll make it taste better? Oh, thank God. Okay, this is way better. This is a huge relief because drinking electrolytes is very much part of Tom's daily routine, and I physically was not able to drink the other one.
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking done. No, I'm so fucking done, dude. Holy shit.
I don't need it to taste like Gatorade. I don't need it to taste sweet. Honestly, I don't need it to taste like anything. Good thing they also have one called Unflavored. This has no flavor. It's just gonna go in my water. I'm not even gonna notice it's there. It's just gonna taste like nothing, right? No, this shit just tastes like salt. I'm just relieved that a lot of the reviews say the same thing, and I'm not the only one going crazy here. This person said it tasted like watered down cough syrup. That's a good description. I love Tom, but I threw away the electrolytes. Terrible taste. The electrolytes did not agree with me, and I agree with you. I think when I run out of these packets, I'll just buy a different brand of electrolytes and hopefully don't also taste like shit. As previously discussed, Tom Brady loves water. You think this is a lot? This jug that weighs almost 5 pounds when full? Well, he drinks 5 of these every day. My goal for this has been to at least drink 3 of these a day, because that's still on the low end of the spectrum. And 3 a day is doable, but it's also a lot. There are a few things that I don't love
about the water bottle. For one, it takes about 90 seconds for me to fill it up all the way because it's so goddamn big. It's also so heavy and bulky that you need to use 2 hands to drink out of it, and it makes you look like a baby drinking out of a sippy cup. It's too wide to fit in a cup holder, so it kind of just jostles around in my car as I drive. And unless it's more than halfway full, I can't drink out of it while I drive without it hitting the ceiling. But do you think I'm gonna ever drive somewhere without having a little beverage in my car? Hell no. But all of that pales in comparison to the worst thing about drinking water, which is that I now pee roughly 600 times per day. Sometimes I'll just drink and pee at the same time because I know I'm gonna have to do it in 5 minutes anyway. It really makes me mad that Amanda and I thought it would be funny to have the Pledge of Allegiance in our guest bathroom, but now the joke's on me because I have to recite it every time I go in there. I did the math and I don't think I've gone an entire 2-hour period without having to go to the bathroom. And that made me realize that Tom Brady pees his pants. It's not like they have a bathroom on the sideline. It's not like you can call a timeout to do a potty break. This legend, this sports hero, has been running around on the field with piss in his uniform. Gross! I looked up to you, man. Anyway, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but someone had to say something. This book's not too crazy. A lot of the stuff I had heard before, like how he was born on a spaceship and came out the womb holding a football. But the thing that's weird about this is, like, this is supposed to be the Tom Brady Bible. But there are things I've read online about him that contradict some of the stuff I've read in here. Like, apparently he doesn't eat nightshade, peppers, tomatoes, but then there's recipes in here that include those things. He's famously on a plant-based diet, but almost all the recipes have meat in them. So maybe this book is not as all-encompassing as I hope. It might be because they didn't want to include every restriction in here, so as to not scare people off. Or maybe it's that some of the things Tom Brady believes in aren't actually backed up by science, so they're like, hey, just because Tom does that doesn't mean you have to too. You know, I've read a bunch of books like this before. I've read like 2 books like this before. And the funny thing is, I feel like I always agree with almost everything they say. I just forget to actually do it. We all have one body and one life, and you should make it a priority to treat that body and life as respectfully as possible. And it's like, of course, what a beautiful mindset. Of course, I'm going to only eat the healthiest foods I can so my body can function as healthily and as prosperously as possible. And oh my god, is it 1 a.m. already? I'm gonna have a snack. Part of the reason I wanted to make this video is just to force myself to do it. I'm so bad at self-discipline, but I'm really good at making excuses. Like, I've had a long day today. I deserve this. I deserve to go to Twisty Treat. Twisty Treat is a restaurant shaped like ice cream because they sell ice cream. Obviously, life would be really fucking boring if you never ate anything fun, but there has to be a balance to it, one that I rarely achieve. But one thing I've realized as an adult is that if I don't hold myself accountable, no one else will, because it's not their responsibility. It's mine. I have to do it, so I will do it. So let's start off with what you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to have dairy, or bread, or fast food, or soda, or things with added sugar, or overly processed foods that have a bunch of preservatives. Let me tell you the betrayal I felt when I found out these snap peas aren't actually healthy at all. They're not even real peas. They're just cleverly engineered to look like them. Everything is always too good to be true. Whatever. I'm not mad. You can have alcohol, but in extreme moderation. And I just went ahead and didn't have any because beer makes me want pizza. You can only have a little bit of caffeine, which thankfully wasn't much of a change for me. Something happened a couple years ago, and ever since then, I've had an extremely low tolerance to caffeine, even though I drink coffee every single day. But I usually don't even finish 1 cup because I know if I drink it all, I'm gonna get all jittery and probably end up with a headache. You know what my Starbucks order is? I get a venti cold brew and then slowly drink it over the course of 4 days. That's not a joke. That's just my life. As far as what you are supposed to eat, it's pretty much a lot of vegetables all the time. Mostly just vegetables, actually. And you have to buy organic produce, preferably sourced locally, otherwise Tom will come to your house and kill you. According to the book, it's because non-organic food tends to have less nutrients in it, and also when food has to travel really far, it loses nutrients. I don't know how true that is, but man, was it depressing to have to ignore all the regular fruit that was on sale so I could get the special version of it. So I'll get to the meals themselves in a little bit, but there were two things that I've eaten every single day. Number one, I have a smoothie with spinach and blueberries and most of a banana, almond butter, and palm powder, and Greek yogurt and almond. These I don't mind at all. They taste really good, and they fill me up for a few hours. I actually used to make smoothies like this all the time until one day our blender broke, and instead of buying a new one, I was just like, all right, well, guess I'm not doing that anymore. The hardest thing about these smoothies is that you always run out of different ingredients at different times. And it's like, am I really gonna go to the store right now just to get blueberries? For the sake of this video, yes. Yes, I am. The other thing I get to eat every single day is homemade guacamole. This is, for some reason, an absolute staple of the TB12 diet. Well, it's a good thing finding perfectly ripe avocados every single day isn't like hard to do or anything. Otherwise, this would be really annoying. For me, this was the first major example of this diet being 100 times more doable if you have someone else go buy ingredients and prepare food for you. Tom's not going to the grocery store. He throws a few footballs around and then yells, "Feed me," and an army of TB12 assistants come to shovel kale into his mouth. Now, if you're like me, you might be thinking, guacamole every day? That sounds awesome. But remember, you can't eat them with chips. That would be too easy. So usually I just add it to whatever meal I'm eating, or I'll dip celery or carrots into it and start it down that way. As far as grocery trips go, I've been doing them a lot. Basically every 2 to 4 days. I probably could have consolidated some of these trips, but I get overwhelmed when my grocery list is way too long, so I would split it up into smaller trips and only get like 1 or 2 meals at a time. And I will say, the meals in this book are all pretty good. This salad is stupidly easy to make, so that's been a go-to for me. The cauliflower you make with this salmon is fucking great, so I don't even mind the fact that you have to eat like 12 pounds of it every time. And the chicken and lentils recipe is really good too, although the Dijon mustard flavor can be a little bit much when you're having leftovers, and at that point, it has soaked into every single ingredient. I even got to make my own hummus. That was pretty fun. So really, I have almost nothing but good things to say about all of these recipes, except there is the one.
I tried making one of Tom's famous fish taco bowls, and everything went wrong. The cod completely fell apart as I was trying to cook it, so it was basically ground fish. The sauce was way too runny and just tasted like sesame seeds. The beans were all wet. The worst part is that it's been about 14 hours since I cooked it. I like fish.
To make my life a little bit easier, I have been ordering the same meal prep service that I've used for a while now. Only where before I was mostly doing it out of convenience, now I have to make sure I'm pretty much only eating chicken and vegetables or fish and vegetables. This takes care of 5 lunches a week, so I only have to worry about breakfast and dinner and then what I'm making on the weekend. I would say my biggest takeaway so far is that what you do eat is a lot more important than what you don't eat. I've had a couple of 2 or 3 day stretches in here where I don't really have the energy to cook, so then I don't eat enough, so then I don't have any energy, so then I don't cook any food. It's not enough to just not eat sugar. Just because I'm not eating McDonald's doesn't mean I'm doing a good job or being healthy. I need to have like a checklist of things that I do eat every single day. Otherwise, it's inevitable that I end up going crazy one night and eating half a block of cheese at 1 a.m. Am I saying that because that's what I did last night? Yeah, but I'm not gonna beat myself up over it. I'm just gonna go outside and spike some footballs and get right back on track. So I'm about 2 weeks into eating like Tom Brady, and I can't say a lot has changed. I did notice that I've started floating. I don't really know how I'm doing it. I just know that whenever I go to walk somewhere, I am now levitating off the ground. If I had to guess, I would assume that my body has simply transcended past the need for gravity, which is cool. I don't think I used to be able to do that. At least not that I remember. I love how this box they gave me is just filled to the brim with crap, and yet there's no instruction manual of any kind. I don't know what any of this stuff does. I mean, I know what this bag does. I've used a bag before. So I was looking at some of the exercises in the book, and I kept getting confused on like, okay, I see that you're supposed to pull on the rope, but what is the rope attached to? And the photos don't help because it's sort of just
fades off into the void. But I realized one of the things in here was this like door strap. So I should be able to strap this to my door and then connect things to it, hopefully without breaking the door in the process. The issue with this for me though is most of the doors in my house, there's not a lot of room in front of them to maneuver and do things. So I'm gonna have to be doing most of my workouts in my laundry room. I'm realizing maybe I didn't put the camera in the right spot for this because I did the whole thing and I don't think you could see any of it. All right, looks pretty good, I think. Still worried this is somehow gonna break my door? If it does, I'll just ask Tom to buy me a new one. I now have something else I'm deathly afraid of, which is that while I'm doing one of these exercises, the back will snap, propel forward into the back of my head, and I will immediately die. The good news is if that does happen, I will at least get it on camera. I should probably clue you in on what's going on here. So something that seems to be unique to Tom's workouts is his emphasis on pliability. And I'll let him explain it for me.
Pliability is at the core of the TB12 lifestyle. Use a TB12 vibrating pliability roller or sphere to target the muscle groups you're using.
So basically before and after every workout, I gotta roll this thing all over my muscles.
There are two parts to pliability. Active muscle work, active muscle work, active muscle work.
This is how you play football. Finally, with just a few days left, having transformed into the best shape of my adult life, which unfortunately does not mean anything, it's time to hit the field. Hi, my name's Drew Gooden. I'm over 4 feet tall, and this is my audition for the role of quarterback. Dear Roger Goodell, President of Football, I am politely demanding that you have me signed to one or all NFL teams as soon as possible. Obviously, my talent and positional versatility should speak for themselves, but I also have other attributes I can bring to the table that will make me instantly marketable as the new face of the league. Number one, I'm charitable. When this crazed fan came up to me and demanded my attention, I didn't throw 100 footballs at her face until she went away, even though I wanted to. I took the time to take multiple photos with her, a memory I'm sure she'll treasure forever. Reason number two, I'm already friends with several Hall of Fame athletes, like Rob Gronkowski, Jeff Gordon, and Air Bud from the movie Air Bud. I believe these connections will help me thrive in the NFL. After all, it's a relationship game, not a football game. Reason number three, I think I could do a touchdown dance. And the final and most important reason why I should be immediately given a lifetime contract is that I am desperate for money. Over the past month, I have spent all of my life savings trying to do the Tom Brady diet, and now my house is being foreclosed. Not to be nosy or anything, but I saw how much you're giving some of these other guys, and I decided, can I have some?
I'll do any position. I'll even be punter. Please let me play.
Anyway, I hope you consider me for the role of quarterback. Have a wonderful day. What the fuck? You're telling me I lost 5 pounds and felt great for a month and I have nothing to show for it because I can't even play professional football?
I'll get you, Tom.
Ooh, I just know for a fact that I am the person most negatively affected by this. Okay, so maybe I am the person second most negatively affected by this. So I'm gonna break down my final thoughts on this by answering 2 questions. Number 1, is the TB12 diet good? Yeah. With the exception of the one disaster, all the meals were tasty and they got easier to prepare the more I made them. And a lot of the restrictions are easier to pull off than it seemed at first, as long as you don't think about what you're missing out on. Like, it's really daunting when you start off and you think, oh man, I can't have this or this or this. But then you get going and you're just focusing on the food that you are making and you realize it's been 2 weeks since you thought about pizza. I'm proud to say I only cracked twice. There was the cheese incident, and I also went to Taco Bell one day because I was kind of going through it. But I think it's good to at least have one meal every once in a while that you can look forward to. Otherwise, you're gonna lose motivation pretty fast. In hindsight, yeah, maybe I should have swung for something better than a 5-layer burrito, but at the time, it's all I could think about. Other than that, the meals were all just good enough to keep me from daydreaming about junk food. But the other question is, given the financial and time investment necessary to pull this diet off, how feasible is it? And that's a little bit trickier. It would be dumb of me to ignore the obvious advantage that I had while doing this, which is that I was able to put my job on hold for a while by turning the diet into my job. And even still, there were days where I'm like, fuck, it's 5 o'clock already? I don't want to cook. I just made food yesterday and now I gotta do it again?
When will it end? And I tried to imagine what it would have been like to try to do this back when I had a 45-minute commute to my carpentry job, where I'd be lucky to get home before 6 o'clock, and I'm tired and I'm sore, and now I have to prepare this complicated ass meal. And whoops, our broccoli went bad. Should I go to Publix? No, I'm gonna go to Chipotle for the 3rd day in a row. You know what would be nice? If there were more convenient, healthy food options. The best I could find around me is a place called Fresh Kitchen, and it's pretty good, don't get me wrong, but the bowls are like $15. Also, I don't even know if that place is healthy. Did you know that restaurants aren't required to provide nutritional information unless they have over 20 locations? I didn't know that till I tried to look it up. And yeah, you can always drive through somewhere to get a fast food salad, but not only do I not want to eat salad every day, but a lot of the time, the salads have more calories than the regular food that they sell. Without a doubt, the best way to follow the TB12 diet is to have multiple fresh cooked meals every single day. And the easiest way to do that is to pay someone to cook them for you. But I'm not gonna do that, and you're not gonna do that, so who the fuck is gonna do that? Following this diet is possible, but it's expensive and it's time consuming, and you have to sacrifice a lot of convenience in order to make it work. And just like with all diets, you have to be patient. If you're hoping to lose weight, it could take 2 weeks before you even move the needle at all. So really, in the short term, there are almost no noticeable differences. Like I remember my dad asking me after a couple weeks how I felt, and I thought about it, and I was like, just kind of normal, I think. For some reason, I guess I thought, I'm eating all these superfoods. I'm gonna feel amazing. These omega-3s are gonna be coursing through my veins. But I realized it's more so just an absence of feeling bad. It's been a week or so since I officially finished doing the diet for a month, and I've tried not to stray too far from it since then, but I've loosened up the restrictions. Like the other day, I had a milkshake, and it was fucking delicious. It was so good. I don't regret it at all. But I felt like garbage afterward. I was in a bad mood. I was groggy and irritable, and I went to bed really early for some reason. Same thing happened when we had pizza a few days later. It was the best pizza I've ever had in my life. At least it felt like it at the time, you know how it is. But it also made me feel like shit. I was so full, but I was also really grumpy. I kept getting annoyed at everything. It kind of ruined my night. And when I thought about it the next day, I was like, I think I'm good on pizza for a while. It also gave me acid reflux, which made me realize that I had not had that for the entire month that I was on the diet. So now that I think about it, maybe I'm onto something here. So food good, diet good, but everything outside of the meals, I could take it or leave it. The electrolytes are disgusting. The vitamins cost like $2 a pill. The water bottle's nice, but you're essentially paying an extra $40 just to have Tom Brady's name on it. And I love the guy, but not that much. The exercise equipment was a pretty good deal as far as I can tell. I'll let you know if all that shit just starts breaking one day. But ultimately, for a lifestyle change as drastic and as costly as this can be, I wouldn't recommend starting it off by wasting a couple $100 on a bunch of the less necessary crap. Just save that money for all the fish you're gonna have to eat. I know there's probably gonna be a lot of people who watch this video and think, whoa, you went on a diet for a month? That's crazy. What are you, like a regular person? And that's fine, but I'm proud of myself for doing this. It's not that I don't normally pay attention to what I eat and try to eat as healthy as possible, but I'm certainly not very consistent about it. So every day that I would get through the entirety of without making any bad dietary choices, it felt good laying in bed that night knowing I did a good job. And the more I stacked those days on top of each other, the better I felt overall. And I also realized when I'm only having one truly bad meal every week or two, it makes it taste so much better, because I've earned this. I'm gonna savor this shit. Again, I know these are very basic human principles that a lot of people are gonna hear and be like, yeah, Drew, it is hard. Everyone struggles with cravings and making good choices. It's not like extremely healthy people were just born with a different brain and they never think about how good ice cream would taste right now. They just have better self-discipline than I do. Anyway, this is a diet that I've wanted to try for several years, and maybe it's a good thing that Tom pretended to retire for just long enough to make me actually do it. Because if he didn't, I probably wouldn't have. I'm still kind of pissed that he took my spot on the team, but I'll try not to hold a grudge. Well, I think I have finally run out of things to say. I've been working on this video for almost 2 months now, and I'm ready to be done. That said, I probably won't do any other videos like this for a while, so if you liked this one and you want to support me, consider sticking around and hearing me talk about today's sponsor, which I will do now. Hi, I'm Immortal, and I'm here to tell you about
off for a bit.
Charging battery.
I don't know what you want. Let's have